past to the road courses with the fuel mats run in these trucks, and other people are having issues today. So I hope in the future we work through this series, and NASCAR continue to work on these mandated parts that we run, because we don't want trucks falling out of race, something that we have no control over. It's one thing when your brakes go and you got to choose your brakes. That's one thing, but yeah, it's definitely something that I hope that the series continues to evolve and get a lot of these related parts in a better spot. And yeah, it's a tough mileage race today to really go very far off, but feel cool to be working on. It's cold, so we're going to be getting worse mileage than normal. We'll see what Texture Mill and Chevy for JF Electric can do today.
All right, there you go. Ross Chastain starts 33rd.
Yeah, Ross Chastain's going to be a threat no matter where it's.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how customize a song for you. Catered country to Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by picking your truck. Cause 30 told me to only pay what I need. Thank you, Liberty Move. Always trust me, move with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Biden on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here's the side comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
Forcing up a racing fuel. The race up from pit road is Denny Hamlin. The Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local station at MRN or NASCAR.com.
From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the trucks of NASCAR.
Play action on your local station at MRN or NASCAR.com.
From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the trucks of NASCAR.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. You have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
Racing Network's classic race.
36th Annual Southern 100. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN aisle for unforgettable races and moments.
Earnhardt's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Earnhardt is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com podcast platform.
Alan Kowicki out of for the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across
MRN Classic Races.
Join Mike Bagley every week on the Motor Racing Network for the latest news and driver interviews on NASCAR Live.
Back here at Watkins as we close. Was in on pre-race ceremony. Today's Bully Hill Vineyards 176. Stage links today. Lap 20 stage number 1, then lap 40 stage 2. The advertised distance will be lap number 2.
Right now, trackside, we're getting ready for pre-race ceremonies as we're getting ready to turn these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series teams loose for afternoon of racing at Watkins Glen. To turn these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series teams loose for afternoon of racing at Watkins Glen International.
Please rise as you are able. Remove hats. And veterans render a hand salute. Rochester Institute ours. For today, welcome racing.
Father, right to as we do some of your love and goodness. Father, officials will be over and give race.
Veterans render a hand salute. Rochester Institute ours. For today, welcome racing.
Father, right to as we do some of your love and goodness. Father, officials will be over and give race. Lord, pray that it's a great time, members. Lord, men of our force, first responders. Moment, keep the face in your ball. Sing a amen.
To perform national anthem. The Spader. Welcome. Million.
Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. We'll be there to no song free.
Moment with the face in your ball. Sing Amen.
To perform national anthem. Follow the Spader. Welcome. Million.
Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. We'll be there to no song free, far what can we and for thee, and glorious and free. Oh, we'll be.
When you devour Jack Links, the official real meat protein snack of NASCAR, you could win twice. First, because real meat protein can help boost your libido.
Hey, I've noticed you've boosted your libido.
Thank you for noticing.
And second, because you can enter the Jack Links Eat, Meet, and Win sweepstakes for a chance to win 4 epic NASCAR getaways, tickets, and more at jacklinks.com/NASCAR. Libido boost and people noticing your libido boost may vary. Enter now at jacklinks.com/NASCAR. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends 12/31/26. U.S. residents 18 or older. Void where prohibited. Sponsor Link Snacks Inc.
Oh, Canada, please don't guard the world. Through perils,
Void where prohibited. Sponsor Link Snacks Inc.
Let's once again go trackside for the command to fire engines.
Watkins Glen, here to give the command to fire engines with the most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome legend and former driver of the Bully Hill Vineyards truck, Ron Fellows.
Drivers, start your engines!
Fellows, that was
Talk
cool.
about a legend.
Yes.
Ron Fellows, great job. We'll drop the green flag for 176 miles of action that's coming up next.
Committee down.
Rate for greatest car most NASCAR.
He's going to go to the inside and regain the lead. Spectacular move for Connor Zilisch.
Connor Zilisch goes back-to-back at Watkins Glen International. Van Gisbergen's lead over Buescher, 8.9 seconds.
Here's Shane Van Gisbergen. He wins the Go Bowling at the Glen.
Connor Zilisch not cracking under pressure. SVG right there in the tire track. Zilisch too strong though, holding off SVG.
In a dogfight, Connor Zilisch is going to win it over SVG.
And no doubt these two drivers have absolutely owned the road courses in NASCAR the last couple of years. So, well, let's dial them up. What do you think, Mikey? Let's talk to SVG.
Hello, Shane Van Gisbergen. It's Waltrip and the team from Fox. Do you copy?
I do. How are you?
Well, I'm doing really well. Did that truck show you everything you needed to go win this afternoon? You got some guys to pass.
And
What
into
a
the
field we have
right-hander
today.
turn 2, which will begin the S's. And positioned high atop the S's that will call all the action at that portion of the racetrack today is our Dave Moody from Scurvy, South Dakota.
Thank you, Mike Bagley, and good afternoon once again, everybody. At the end of that short straightaway at the exit of turn number 1, a long climb to the clouds begins through the right-left right-hand section known as the S's. No room at all for error coming up through the S's. In close proximity on both sides of the track, long lines of that baby blue painted Armco barrier. It is unforgiving to say the least. If you tangle with it, you will damage your truck, usually severely. They'll climb all the way to the top of the hill to a very gentle right-hand turn number 4 and out onto the back straightaway where they'll come to the attention of Killingly, Connecticut's Kyle Rickey.
All right, thank you very much, Dave, and good afternoon, everybody, from a broadcast tower just to the outside of turn number 5. But before they get to me, a lot will happen here on the backside of this course. Out of turn number 4, it's onto the back straightaway for a 6-to-second run before jumping hard on the brakes and downshifting into the inner loop, a right-left, left-right combination of turns that has also been called the bus stop, as it looks like a bus stop that you would see in most cities, and it's designed to slow the trucks down before they get to turn number 5. It is also where we have seen a lot of contact over the years, as it is fairly narrow. Out of the bus stop, the trucks will race into turn number 5. It's a long, sweeping downhill right turns that has also been called the bus stop, as it looks like a bus stop that you would see in most cities, and it's designed to slow the trucks down before they get to turn number 5. It is also where we have seen a lot of contact over the years, as it is fairly narrow. Out of the bus stop, the trucks will race into turn number 5. It's a long, sweeping downhill right turn, and it's an important one as the drivers will set up for another long straightaway, which is an optimal passing zone, and that's where they'll race into the view of Marlboro, New Jersey's Tim Catalfamo.
Thank you very much, Kyle Rickey. Good afternoon, everyone. Here in turns 6 and 7, the final 2 corners here at this massive facility at Watkins Glen International. When they exit turn number 5, that carousel that Kyle was talking about, they will race their way down a short and, yes, very narrow straightaway with Armco barrier on either side of them. The reason why I bring that up, over the years we have seen some massive crashes when one car or truck gets turned sideways on that straightaway. The drivers are racing full speed at that point, so they're going to have to be careful and stay in. Get into turn number 7, which is the final turn on this course. That'll dump them back on to the front straightaway.
And once they come underneath the Go Bowling Bridge, they stay on the racetrack or go to driver's right to head to pit lane like we are right now for a final thought before the drop of the green flag, starting with Steve Post.
When Mike gave the starting lineup there, he mentioned Adam Andretti. And, of course, when you think about Andretti, you think of American motorsports racing. Adam, the 47-year-old from Brownsburg, Indiana, is the younger brother of the late John Andretti, who raced significantly in the NASCAR Cup Series. Nephew of Mario Andretti. He's been running an Indy Pro Series. He spent some time racing Stadium Pro trucks, and he's been racing in the Trans Am Series since 2014 when he has 5 wins. This year he decided to do a little Truck Series racing. This is his 4th NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series start. Has a best finish of 12th place down at Echo Park Speedway just outside of Atlanta. Starts 21st here today, and it's always good to have an Andretti in the field. That's Adam Andretti ready to roll off here today. Jason Toy?
Let's shine a spotlight on one of our regulars here in the series, and Tyler Ankrum. Tyler getting ready to roll here. He's got 2 wins in his career, but when you look at his road course racing, it's pretty stellar. 2 starts here, 2 top 10s, 1 top 5, but he has also got 15 starts on road courses, 3 top 5s, and 11 top 10s. Pretty good percentage. Says he feels comfortable on the road courses. He's hoping today can get their season on a consistent track to try to find something back towards victory lane for Tyler Ankrum. He drives truck 18. They'll start 18th today here at Watkins Glen.
And that is the thought from pit road right now as the field is working its way into turn 6, and when they come out of turn 7, they will pass down pit road to set their tachometers. When they exit pit road, they will line up double wide for the restart. They will get the 1 to go on the back side of the race course, and then when they come back here, we will go green flag racing for the 176 miles that will run today in the Bully Hill Vineyards 176. Road course racing has been in play for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Truck Series basically since it came online way back in 1995. And the list of tracks that we have raced at with the tough trucks of NASCAR, pretty impressive. We've obviously raced here at Watkins Glen, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park up in Canada, Sonoma Raceway in California, Heartland Park Topeka in Kansas, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. We've run on the Daytona Road Course there at the World Center of Racing, Mid-Ohio, Portland, the Roval at Charlotte, Lime Rock, and St. Petersburg, all of the road courses where these trucks have raced over the years, and some of the series greats have won and run on those road courses as well.
All right, like our gentleman that gave the command to fire engines, Ron Fellows from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. He has been a staple when it comes to racing stock cars here at Watkins Glen, let alone sports cars all around the world. But the road course here specifically, Todd, at Watkins Glen International, this is one of the, I guess you could say, one of the early tracks where crew chiefs really started figuring out there's a lot of different things I can do strategically to try to get to victory lane.
Yeah, this is where we started running races backwards and ended up, you know, working that towards the caution or towards the checkered flag.
He has been a staple when it comes to racing stock cars here at Watkins Glen, let alone sports cars all around the world. But the road course here specifically, Todd, at Watkins Glen International, this is one of the, I guess you could say, one of the early tracks where crew chiefs really started figuring out there's a lot of different things I can do strategically to try to get to victory lane.
Yeah, this is where we started running races backwards and ended up, you know, working that towards the caution or towards the checkered flag and backing up where my fuel stops have to be. The trucks are in a unique situation. With that second stage ending at lap 40, they're right on the fuel window, maybe a little stretch for that. We'll see how that plays out for these guys. But this is a place that, this is the super speedway of road courses. When we talk about all those places, a lot of high speed. We heard that from Ty Majeski as he was talking about, you know, splitter control and pieces like that. There's a lot of high speed areas of this racetrack. You keep your truck, you know, in good positions, keep it sealed up. You can make some speed through that, but you still have to come back and put the race together and pass vehicles, making braking zones good. That's a big part of what we've got going forward.
The interesting thing about Watkins Glen is, while there have been new road courses that have popped up over the years, this is the OG. This is one of the originals. We used to race the United States Grand Prix back here in the 70s and early 80s, and this place has seen a lot of driving talent race on it over the years.
And if you look at this racetrack, this is one of the two this is one of the two that were here. This and Sonoma were the two road courses we had when I first started racing in the NASCAR series. Then we grew to the other places, but this has been a staple on the circuit and really one that all the crew chiefs look forward to coming to.
Before there ever was a purpose-built road course here on the hilltop overlooking Seneca Lake to our left, they used to race on the streets on the mountainsides here around Watkins Glen as well. The little village of Watkins Glen, up and down the hillsides and the mountains here around this area, they weren't afraid. And we've driven our street cars around some of those roads, and those were some brave folks back in the day.
At race speed or the restricted speed limits that we have today?
Yeah.
Yes is the answer to that one.
Field works its way through turns 6 and 7 to call the start of the Bully Hill Vineyards 176 from Milford, Delaware. Here's Mike Bagley.
Green flag is waving at the start-finish line. Brent Cruz is away already. Here they come. They funnel onto the main straightaway. Cruz is out with the lead. You got Ty Majeski, who gets away in second, and now the stacking up of traffic begins from third on back as they race side by side down the hill into turn 1 for the first time.
Brent Cruz quickly away by about a 5-truck length advantage over Ty Majeski, who rides in second as they begin to wind their way uphill now through the S's. Another 5-car length back to the corner. No Jackson, Daniel.
Brent Cruz, top of the hill, the race leader for the first time, and onto the back straightaway, has about 4 truck lengths over Ty Majeski, who settles in the line in second. In fact, the top 5 trucks have all settled into single file, under braking into the inner loop for the first time, and everybody tiptoeing their way through for the first time at speed, through safely as Brent Cruz is in turn number 5 and onto the short straightaway.
Here comes the leader, Brent Cruz, out of turn number 5, still leading Ty Majeski by about 5 or 6 truck lengths. Behind Ty Majeski, about 5 or 6 truck lengths behind him in the third spot. That is where Connor Mosack currently rides in his Chevrolet Silverado. Daniel Hemrick goes fourth. Gio Ruggiero, the top 5 to turn 7.
They spill up off of turn number 7, come down to the line to complete lap number 1. Brent Cruz has a 7 truck length lead over second place Ty Majeski in that highlighter yellow Menards entry. Field under braking downhill. Sunshine now glistening off the paint schemes.
Brent Cruz out of turn number 1, now headed for the S's, stepping lively here in the early going. He's opened up about a 7, maybe an 8 truck length lead now as he makes his way turn 3 to the top of the hill.
Continues to pull away at the front of the field as they exit turn number 4 and race up the long back straightaway over Ty Majeski in the second spot. Then you get back to Connor Mosack in position 3. Daniel Hemrick is settled in the line in the 4th spot, and he's finding a lot of pressure in the inner loop from Connor Zilich, who is trying to make his way to the front of the field. That's the battle for positions 4 and 5 in turn number 5, and onto the straightaway they go.
Connor Zilich in that black and yellow Chevrolet Silverado filling up the rear view mirror of Daniel Hemrick, again racing for the 4th position. Here is Connor Zilich, stuck into the inside for a moment, now tucks in line into turn number 6 through the left-hander there, a half a truck length apart, battling for 4th.
Connor Zilich getting antsy back in that 5th position right now. He's trying to find his way around Daniel Hemrick. He'll take a peek to the inside out of turn 7, and he won't find any room to race. Behind them, a couple of teammates stacked up there. Caden Honeycutt is there, and then he's got Gio Ruggiero, both accomplished road racers in their own right, stacking it up and going for a position inside of the top 10, to be specific, 6th up for grabs right now.
Charging down to the inside, or driver's right in this particular corner. Carson Hosevar trying to make a move as they make their way uphill. Hosevar to driver's right, Ruggiero to the left-hand side.
All of this battling just outside of the top 5 as they reach the top of the hill and onto the back straightaway, and well behind the race leader Brent Cruz. 3-truck battle from 3rd on back now heating up as they exit the inner loop. Connor Mosack has that position. Daniel Hemrick is there, and peeking to the inside of both is Connor Zilich, 1 truck length back.
We'll pick up those 3 pickup trucks that now cleanly exit turn number 5 and race down the short straightaway. Connor Mosack at the front of this trio. Behind him, Daniel Hemrick. Behind Hemrick, Connor Zilich. They remain in the line, following each other back to turn 7.
That is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Brent Cruz, the race leader. Ty Majeski is currently 2nd. Lap number 3 goes on the board. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. NASCAR Racing Network is live at Watkins Glen International in the Finger Lakes region of central New York. I'm Alex Hayden, alongside is Mike Bagley and Todd Gordon. We're high atop the start-finish line. Dave Moody, Kyle Rickey, and Tim Cattle-Famo out on the course for us today, with Steve Post and Jason Toy on the pit lane.
4 laps of the 72 have been completed, and all 4 laps have been led by Brent Cruz of Tricon Garage. Ty Majeski is 2nd. Connor Mosack, Daniel Hemrick, Connor Zilich rounding out the top 5. Got some drivers on the move in the early going, including Tyler Reif, Ross Chastain, Carson Hosevar, but you've also got some drivers falling back. Natalie Decker's lost some positions, along with Brendan Butterbean Queen and a couple of others towards the tail end of this field. Right now, Alex, we're just watching everybody getting their sea legs under them, everybody getting settled in, not doing anything too crazy or dramatic here in the early going.
However, off turn number 7 for 3rd now, it is a 4-truck race being led by Connor Mosack. Daniel Hemrick will step out of line under braking headed to turn number 1. In that mix as well, you've got Connor Zilich, you've got Caden Honeycutt, you've got all these trucks right now right together as they begin to work their way up the S's.
Daniel Hemrick, the man on the move, he'll take a spot going into turn number 2, opens the door to drivers right. Connor Zilich will follow him through right in his tire track. Here comes Caden Honeycutt taking spots away from Connor Mosack.
All of this from 3rd on back. They have singled out for now, up the back straightaway and well behind Brent Cruz and Ty Majeski, first and second, already through the inner loop and into turn 5. Good battle shaping up for third. Daniel Hemrick has it, but to the inside goes Connor Zilich and will make the pass by the time they exit the carousel.
Connor Zilich will take the third spot away from Connor Mosack. Caden Honeycutt is also on the move as well. He closes in on the back bumper of Connor Mosack for that position. Make that Daniel Hemrick now into turn number 6. It's Zilich, Hemrick, and Honeycutt back to turn 7.
The race leader, Brent Cruz, already under braking, headed to turn number 1. 5 laps in to the 67. They make up the Bully Hill Vineyards, 176.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected to the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
Stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track. The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
No change at the front of the field. Brent Cruz has a 2.6-second lead over Ty Majeski, who runs second. Connor Zilich is 7.5 seconds back in position number 3, only 6 laps in from Watkins Glen International. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Wheelan Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Wheelan Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
7 laps have been complete here at Watkins Glen, here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Natalie Decker's just gone a lap down. Natalie, the only truck now 1 or more laps down, back in the 36th position.
Watching Ross Chastain, he is on the move here in the early going of this race this afternoon at Watkins Glen. He's just gotten up to the 22nd position. He was mired deeper in the field. He's picked up 9 spots so far. Had some mechanical problems on that truck that they have righted, and we'll see what Ross is able to do to get that truck closer to the front. Good battle on the racetrack for the 4th position. Daniel Hemrick has it. Caden Honeycutt tried to take it away, exiting the carousel.
Caden Honeycutt has been all over the back deck lid of Daniel Hemrick the last several laps. However, Hemrick has done a nice job of holding Honeycutt off for the moment. This time in turn 6, they remain nose to tail, continuing to fight for this spot inside of the top 5.
2 blue and white trucks work their way up off of turn number 7. Hemrick in a Chevrolet Silverado. Caden Honeycutt in a Toyota Tundra. They're going to race nose to tailgate down the start-finish line straight away, under-braking downhill into turn number 1. Nobody stepping out of line. I say that. Here's Honeycutt. Takes a peek to driver's light, but snaps it right back in line.
Takes it back in line and almost has to, because they're bypassing the slower truck of Natalie Decker. They'll make their way past her and race their way up through the S's. Hemrick by a truck length as they reach the back straightaway.
Hemrick hangs on to that position. Honeycutt will get back in the line and try to is set up for another pass, this time up the back straightaway. Ben Rhodes missed the bus stop a lap ago, lost a bunch of spots, had to do that stop and go on the access road to driver's left, and will continue at the tail end of the field. Battle for fourth, already in turn number 5. Hemrick hangs on to that spot for now, but here comes Honeycutt.
Chevy Toyota battle for this fourth position. Daniel Hemrick in that Chevrolet Silverado. Caden Honeycutt in that Toyota Tundra. Not too far behind these two is the fast approaching Carson Hocevar through turn 6. Honeycutt practically pushing Hemrick through the corner. They set up for turn 7 side by side.
And here's Caden Honeycutt. He'll dive to the bottom of the racetrack and he'll slide across the nose of Daniel Hemrick, and he'll take that spot exiting turn 7. Kyle Rickey just mentioned that Ben Rhodes had a stop-and-go penalty in the inner loop, not what he was looking for, and things just got worse. He just took his truck to the garage. Jason Toy, why?
Well, when they're coming up through the S's, grabbing the gear, he lost third and fourth gear. He just could not grab anything. Only first and second gear is what they have. They took him back into the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series garage. They're going to try to see if they can get that linkage fixed to get him back out there to get some points.
So Ben Rhodes, the first truck to go off track and back into the garage. He is posted 36th at lap number 9. Brent Cruz continues to lead. We are halfway through the opening stage.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers or listen to the live MRN radio broadcast. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day. The RE4000 delivers zero latency so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
No changes in the top 5 while we were away. Brent Cruz continues to lead. Ty Majeski doing a good job in the early going. He is second, with Connor Zilich in third, Caden Honeycutt fourth, and Daniel Hemrick in fifth. From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
Sports Lanes Nation. Sprint Car Talk with Steve Post, Aaron Evernham, and Ashley Streving.
Back at Watkins Glen International, 11 laps are complete here in the Bully Hill Vineyards 176, and it's Brent Cruz's world, Alex, and we're all just living in it right now.
4.9 seconds, his advantage over second-place Ty Majeski. 7.6 seconds back is Connor Zilich in third. Then Caden Honeycutt is 13.4 seconds back in fourth. 15.2 seconds back in fifth is Daniel Hemrick. So the moral of the story is Brent Cruz has got a pretty good race truck here. The other part of that, though, Mike, is we are at the moment, 7 laps away from, at least we know of, our first Hardy's caution flag when stage number 1 will come to an end.
Question is, what kind of pit strategies will we see? What kind of decisions will be made as far as getting some perhaps back markers closer to the front and engaging in some gamesmanship, as it were? We talked about Ben Rhodes having problems on the racetrack a few moments ago. He's in the garage. There's another driver that's been dropping down the leaderboard, and that would be Connor Mosak driving today for Spire Motorsports. Steve Post, what's the update on Connor?
Well, I tell you, he's got a handful out there. He's dropped back to the 25th spot, and what he's reported, they feel like they've got a tire with low air pressure, and it is just a handful. Just came on the radio, Brian Petty, the crew chief, said, as long as you can drive it, let's hang on. We don't want to lose a lap here in this stage. We've got a caution coming up here in just about 8 laps. As long as you feel like you can drive it, we'll get it here, put some new tires on it, and get the tire pressures in the proper spot for Connor Mosak.
Mosak has dropped 23 positions since the drop of the green flag. Todd, what kind of things is that? It's not necessarily a flat tire he's talking about, or he'd already come to pit lane. How difficult is this one, and is this something that was just one of those racing deals, or is this something that the crew made a mistake on?
Yeah, I don't think it's something the crew made a mistake on. It's just something that they've been loose. I was reading his comments from early in the run. He talked about wanting the track bar back down, that they had raised it up from qualifying runs. It may be, it may just be a feeling he doesn't like. They may have run something over and have a puncture that's got a tire that's just not building air pressure. So they'll have to see where it is. The challenge is if it is a tire going down and you make adjustments to tighten the truck up and you put tires on, you aren't going to know whether the tire's going down until after you've made the pit stop.
Connor Mosak making his 3rd start of the year with Spire Motorsports. Finished 13th earlier this season at St. Petersburg. He was 5th at the Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, and right now he is 27th on the leaderboard. 6.5 laps to go in the opening stage here at Watkins Glen, and Brent Cruz's lead has gotten larger. It's up to 5.6 seconds now over Ty Majeski. But there is battling further back in the pack. We're watching drivers shift themselves around and trying to gain everything they can. One driver on the move is a driver we talked to, Alex, in our pre-race coverage, and that's Lane Riggs, the St. Petersburg winner.
Yeah, Lane Riggs was able to drive by Grant Enfinger a couple of moments ago, right out in front of you, Kyle Rickey, over there in the carousel.
Had a great exit to the inner loop just a lap or so ago. By the time they got into turn 5, Lane Riggs was able to go to the inside, gain a spot. He moving him up on the leaderboard, but well behind the race leaders. He has a lot of work to do to get toward the front of the field.
Yeah, he's 26 seconds behind the race leader, running in the 10th position. This is a very tame opening to this Bully Hill Vineyards 176. I imagine that there are some teams that would love to bring their trucks down pit road to make some chassis adjustments and get ready for stage 2. That will be coming up in short order. Of course, I don't think Brent Cruz wants his truck touched. Right now, he is in his own zone at the top of this leaderboard.
Yeah, he is. However, the fastest truck on the track is the 3rd place truck in Connor Zilic. I don't think that's a shock to anyone. Todd, he's running at least the last couple of laps a half a second a lap faster than the race leader.
Yeah, he kind of fell back to almost 9 seconds back, and he's figured out how to plug that down to less than 7 at this point. This is one of those things that we see out of Connor Zilic, Shane Van Gisbergen, as they find ways to keep their pace as the tire wear goes on. We've got cars starting to come to pit road.
Right now, we do have trucks coming to pit road. Right now, Grant Enfinger, the first to make the move. We'll cover that stop in a moment. First, we talk about Shane Van Gisbergen. He is up to position number 7. David, he's got him lined up at the back door in turn 2.
He's got a lot of company as he begins to wind his way up through the S's. Shane Van Gisbergen has not been able to move forward. He's got company at the back door from Gio Ruggiero and others to the back straightaway.
Gio Ruggiero looks to driver's right on Shane Van Gisbergen at the top of the hill. The exit of turn number 4 and onto the back straightaway, but falls back into line. Chandler Smith, a part of this battle, along with Chandler's teammate Lane Riggs, who's been able to drive away from Grant Enfinger. Here's Ruggiero looking to the inside of Shane Van Gisbergen. All of this battling just into the top 10.
This is the race from 7th on back. Here comes Gio Ruggiero. He'll shove a fender to the outside of Shane Van Gisbergen out of turn number 5, but he doesn't have the power to make the pass. He'll tuck in line. Now here's Ruggiero sticking it to the inside of Shane Van Gisbergen in turn 6. They'll run side by side to turn 7.
Going to stay that way through turn number 7. This is the ongoing fight for position number 7. It's Shane Van Gisbergen. He'll give up the spot. Gio Ruggiero gets by. Now the 2 front row Motorsports Ford F-150s begin to line up. It's Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs. They're the next 2 in line to try to put the move on Shane Van Gisbergen off turn number 1.
Not used to seeing Shane Van Gisbergen go backward on a road course, but right now he just does not have the kind of truck he needs to go forward. He's been pushed to the driver's right now, up through the S's, trying to hang in there, not able to do it. He's going to lose a spot to Chandler Smith. There's more company at the back door in the person of Lane Riggs.
There they come. A single out up the back straightaway for now. A good four-way battle from 7th on back. Ruggiero is able to get away. Chandler Smith next in line. Then it's Shane Van Gisbergen splitting up that front row motorsports duo. Lane Riggs looking outside and in here in turn number 5. He too looking for a spot.
While this traffic exits the carousel, Gio Ruggiero has been able to break free and clear of the Chandler Smith F-150 that moved around Shane Van Gisbergen a moment ago. Van Gisbergen looks like he may be off the pace. He was slow going down the short straightaway through a massive block on Lane Riggs. Riggs drives around him on the outside as they go to 7.
Lap 17, pit lane getting busy. Some of the front runners are in, including Ty Majeski.
Yeah, here's Ty Majeski bringing that Menards truck in. Pretty happy with the car. He lost a little speed over the course of time. Going to be 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. Here's Caden Honeycutt. Pit stops here at Watkins Glen, challenging because they're done in reverse order. They serviced the left side of the car first, and now around to the right side of the car. Connor Zilich is in, 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel as well. And here is Chandler Smith. More cars in front of you, Jason.
Carson Hocevar is going to be the first one on this section of pit road. No adjustments, 4 tires Sunoco Fuel. They were able to do a routine pit work. Last second, they pulled the air hose back away to keep him from getting a penalty for him running it over.
When the leader comes out of turn number 4 and crosses the start-finish line, pit road will be closed, and that will cease the pitting before the end of the stage. Some drivers trying to flip that stage right now. We have Natalie Decker off the track. She has taken her truck to the garage. We have had some drivers come down the pit lane for service. A moment ago, Christian Eckes got turned around going into turn 1. He avoided getting impaled by one of the tire packs, and now the leader is in. Brent Cruz, let's cover the Cruz stop.
Trying to turn things around here with it. They had a huge lead. The only thing Brent said about the entire run is that the longer it went, the tighter the truck got. They were trying to improve his speed through the bus stop. So very calm, cool, collected. 4 tires Sunoco Fuel. Air pressure adjustment for Brent Cruz. He's down on the way.
Daniel Hemrick will take over the race lead. 2 laps to go in the opening stage. Todd, these teams that elect to come to pit lane are going to forfeit at least good stage points. They may fall back at the back half of the top 10.
They may fall that far back, but this puts them in a situation at the stage break. They won't come to pit road. That will cycle them back to the front of the field. They're just playing the game. They're giving up stage points to maintain track position and keep themselves in a position to go fight for the win.
Part of the strategic elements of this Bully Hills 176 this afternoon at Watkins Glen. Alex mentioned that Daniel Hemrick cycles up to the race lead. Gio Ruggiero now second. Lane Riggs third. A.J. Allmendinger fourth. And Brent Cruz, last time through, was fifth. He will cycle down as we continue to click these laps off and these drivers coming across the line to trip the timing lights. Here come the leaders out the corner now. Daniel Hemrick will cross the start-finish line. The final lap of stage 1 underway at Watkins Glen, trying to get the stage win and trying to give McAnally Hilgeman Racing a stage win as well. He's out of 1 and headed downhill for 2.
Daniel Hemrick's got a couple of trucks in front of him that he may or may not have to deal with before this stage ends. He'll hustle up the hill, move underneath and around the Stephen Malazzi automobile. He's got no challenges at the back door.
Adam Andretti, one of those trucks in and around the race leader at the top of the hill and up the back straightaway for Daniel Hemrick, under braking for the final time in this opening stage into the inner loop. That right, left, left, right combination of corners. He gets through without incident. Now into turn number 5. No pressure from behind for Daniel Hemrick as he hits the straightaway.
Here comes the leader, Daniel Hemrick, out of turn number 5, racing down the short straightaway all by his lonesome right now, as he has no pressure behind him for a spot inside of the top 5. Gio Ruggiero is just now exiting turn 5. He's the second place truck. Here is the leader, Daniel Hemrick, through turn 6 into turn 7.
Daniel Hemrick will exit the corner. We'll see the green and white checkered flag go in the air from Rich Keeter, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series chief starter, and stage number 1 will be won by Daniel Hemrick. We have to wait a good 7 seconds or so before the second place truck comes by, and that's Gio Ruggiero. But Mike, we'll give you the top 10 in the stage, but we got to wait a little while. There's a 25-second gap from first all the way back to 10th.
Waiting for Gio Ruggiero to come out of turn number 7 and cross the start-finish line. He will do that, and he will finish the stage in the second spot. Lane Riggs of Front Row Motorsports will come across the line in position number 3. Fourth will be A.J. Allmendinger. Fifth, Tyler Ankrum, with Ross Chastain, Andres Perez, Tanner Gray, Corey LaJoie, and Brent Cruz rounding out the top 10. The caution is out, presented by Hardee's. Buckle up, NASCAR fans. Get the Hardee's app and join My Rewards, and Hardee's will start you off with a free sandwich. Plus, earn rewards lap after lap and order your Hardee's ahead.
Hey, NASCAR fans, get the NASCAR app. Join My Rewards, and every combo purchase on the app gives you a chance to win an exclusive Talladega experience, race tickets, and other awesome NASCAR prizes. And when the Hardee's number 23 car gets a top 10 finish, we also throw you a code for a free 3-piece hand-breaded chicken tender with a large string purchase. The wins just keep coming. Get the app. Join My Rewards, only at Hardee's.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older in the 50 United States or District of Columbia, excluding New York and Rhode Island. Hardee's My Rewards member with web device. Begins 4/15/26, ends 6/16/26. Rules at Hardee's.com/Victory Lap.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station at MRN or NASCAR.com.
Hardee's caution 1 is out for the Bully here at the Bully Hill Vineyards 176 for the end of stage 1, won by Daniel Hemrick. There were some trucks that came down pit road to pit before the end of the stage. Pit road will be open in a moment. We'll find out who comes down for service and their first pit stop of the day. From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. You have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
Live on your favorite podcast platform.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk to us from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is Daniel Henry. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Back at Watkins Glen, pit road is open. Steve Post, we have takers.
Yes, we do, including stage winner Daniel Hemrick reported that the truck was just lacking rear grip, and so they're going to come in, make an adjustment on it as well. Lane Riggs is in. He said his truck is very, very tight, especially behind traffic. Ross Chastain is in. We talked about the problem with Connor Mosek. He's in as well, and we'll check on Ty Majeski. He's in for a second time. Something's amiss on that truck. We'll find out what that is. Right now, Jason Toy, truck's leaving in front of you.
One of the things different here in Steve Post talked about it earlier. It's the reverse on doing pit stops. A little bit slower for these drivers and these teams as they try to work their way on the pit lane. Christian Eckes is still sitting here. They were doing some work on the left rear of that race truck, some damage. They got the sawzalls out. They're trying to cut it away. We also saw pit stops here on the entrance of pit road from Justin Haley, Gio Ruggiero, also Cole Butcher, Tyler Ankrum. Also, we saw stops with Corey LaJoie and Andres Perez de Lara. 4-tire Sunoco fuel, the name of the game. Few adjustments. Drivers complaining they got tighter as the race went on.
Free pass from this caution that's going to go to Stephen Malazzi in the 33rd position. He'll be the 33rd truck on the racetrack, now back on the lead lap.
Every DIY project has that oh no moment. The missing bolt, the measured cut, the second, third, and fourth trips to the hardware store. That's where Craftsman comes in. Whether you're tackling the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the job done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Head to Craftsman.com today and find the right tools for any project. Craftsman, build on. The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series races here. The Motor Racing Network.
Side by side into one. Zilich trying to get the advantage up high. Puts the squeeze on Eric Almirola. Connor Zilich by half a car length off turn 2.
We have you covered from the green flag to the checker.
Connor Zilich to the lead, but they're 4 wide behind him.
The voice of NASCAR.
Here comes Jesse Love to the start-finish line. He'll win at Phoenix.
The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series races on the Motor Racing Network.
From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You're ready. Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
Love sprint car dirt track racing? Check out the Motor Racing Network's Wing Nation with Steve Post, Ashley Stremme, and the First Lady of Dirt Racing, World of Outlaws winner, Erin Evernham. Each week, Wing Nation goes in-depth with the stars of local tracks, high-limit racing, and the World of Outlaws. Check out Wing Nation interviews on the Wing Nation Facebook page, YouTube channel, or follow along on Instagram or X at Wing Nation. Your go-to for sprint car talk, Wing Nation.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Coast to Coast podcast with Chris Wilner. All about grassroots racing.
We welcome you back here to Watkins Glen International on a mostly cloudy day that started that way, but it's turned into mostly sunny here in the afternoon hours here in middle central New York.
Yes, the upstate region, the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, as it were. We're wrapping up Hardy's Caution Flag number 1 of this race. Brent Cruz cycling through as the leader. Connor Zilich, Cole Butcher, Caden Honeycutt, Carson Hocevar rounding out the top 5. Have we gotten to the bottom of the Ty Majeski issue, Postman? I know that they were concerned about that truck. Are there concerns now as we get ready to open up stage 2?
Yeah, there is, and actually it is something is loose or unattached on the suspension on the front end of the truck. I haven't had a chance to find out any details because, well, quite honestly, everybody's hair's on fire down here. Truck is coming in right now again, and they're going to go try to go in and see if they can tighten up whatever is loose on the suspension part of the truck. Here it is right now, slides into a stop, and the crew goes again under the hood, but it is something suspension related on the front. One of the crew members said, I can't tighten it up, but I haven't had a chance to slow anybody down or get my microphone in the middle of it to find out what exactly they're dealing with on the suspension of the Ty Majeski truck.
That's a tough break there. Their teammate at Thor Sport, Ben Rhodes, had a transmission issue. He is still back in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series garage after only running just a handful of laps.
Christian Eckes is on the pit road. The hood is up on his Napa Chevrolet. So seeing some mechanical challenges and seeing also some other challenges with some drivers here in the early going time.
And that's something different about road course racing is we've got so many rumble strips and curbs that we run over. I went to Road America with Jacques Villeneuve and came home, and every shim from the front lower control arms to the truck arms, it vibrated out during the race. We came home and everything was moving around in it. We got to the point that we actually welded them. We didn't make sure that we nut and bolted. We just welded everything in place.
And that's something last year that NASCAR did to the inner loop or the bus stop section of the course. They actually did some work on the curbing out there because drivers were jumping curbs and it was violent out there, and they smoothed those down just a bit last year. But still, when you see these NASCAR vehicles go over the curbs around here, Mike, those tires come off the ground.
Drivetrains take a beating. So do the track bars, and a crew chief's desire probably stay off those rumble strips because it really, really puts everything through its paces.
But if you go faster, you got to go faster.
Field works its way through the restart zone. Green flag goes back in the air, and we're racing again. Oh, contact! Two trucks get together right at the start-finish line. Getting the worst of that is the machine of Cole Butcher, hard with the right front corner of his truck on the inside wall that separates the pit lane from the front straightaway. We stay under the green flag as the field climbs the hill.
Into turn number 2, a side-by-side battle for the lead. Connor Zilic goes driver's left. Contact between he and Brent Cruz. Zilic to the lead. He'll lead 2 more to the inside as Cruz gets shuffled all the way back to 4th.
Zilic, perhaps the fastest truck on the course at the end of stage number 1, goes to the front of the field here at the start of stage number 2. Caden Honeycutt will take the second position as they make their way through the inner loop, and they'll single out toward the front. Carson Hocevar is up to the 3rd spot. Brent Cruz, former race leader, kicked back to position 4.
Brent Cruz trying to recover. He rides in the 4th position, 1 spot behind the Carson Hocevar Silverado that is starting to bear down on the Caden Honeycutt Toyota Tundra. All of this is happening behind the race leader, Connor Zilic, who leads the field to turn 7.
So to recap what happened on that restart, coming out of turn 7, Cole Butcher got a bit loose. He was on the low portion of the racetrack. Grant Enfinger came rumbling out of the pocket, clipped Butcher, shoved him into the inside wall, and Cole Butcher has a lot of damage on his truck. We stay under green. Connor Zilic took the lead, and now Dave is trying to pull away, but he's having a difficult time doing it.
He's got a couple of truck lengths, maybe 3 over Caden Honeycutt, who runs in the number 2 spot. Here they come up the hill. Brent Cruz is in the number 4 position, just trying to rally himself now and get back after Carson Hocevar.
A couple of truck lengths behind Hocevar is Cruz. That is 3rd and 4th. In fact, the top 10 trucks have all singled out here on the back straightaway, keeping an eye on Ross Chastain mid-pack, able to make a pass midway through the top 10 around Shane Van Gisbergen for the 6th spot. At the front of the field and already through turn 5, Connor Zilic able to break away by 4 truck lengths.
Connor Zilic is the race leader by 4 truck lengths over Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt is 2nd. Running 3rd is Carson Hocevar. Behind Hocevar is the aforementioned Brent Cruz. Then running in the 5th spot all by himself is Chandler Smith. That's the top 5.
As they work their way through turns 6 and 7, back down to the line they come. Lap 25 goes on the board, gives us 47 to go in the race. 15 remaining here in stage number 2 as Connor Zilic ever so gently adds another truck length to his advantage in turn number 1 over Caden Honeycutt, the ARCA winner from earlier today.
The battle is for the number 3 position. That's where Brent Cruz, riding in the 4th spot, just trying to regain some last ground after being door slammed side by side. He and Zilic got together. He's back to the number 4 spot and trying to close on Hocevar.
Hocevar hangs on to 3rd, 4 now, though. Both of those trucks losing ground to the race leaders that are already into the inner loop. And at the front of the field, Connor Zilic continuing to tiptoe away from Caden Honeycutt in the 2nd spot. Battle for 3rd continues to be best. Carson Hocevar has that position into turn 5. Brent Cruz getting a bit aggressive in that 4th spot.
Been watching Brent Cruz the last couple of times through turns 6 and 7. He has been looking for a little bit of running room to maneuver around Carson Hocevar for the 3rd spot, but for now has to ride in his tire tracks about a truck length behind Carson Hocevar.
Carson Hocevar running right now in the 3rd position, trying to track down Connor Zilic, who comes across the start-finish line and leads his 3rd lap of the afternoon.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected into the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
The field of 40 drivers who will compete in the 2026 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Championship Series, NASCAR's officially sanctioned esports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world, is set. More than $500,000 will be on the line, with $100,000 going to the series champion. Don't forget to tune in Tuesday, May 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 1 at Charlotte on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola iRacing and NASCAR.
Back at Watkins Glen, Connor Zilich lead now a second over Caden Honeycutt. Carson Hocevar, Brent Cruz, and Chandler Smith, the Front Row Motorsports, round out the top 5. 14 laps to go in Stage 2 from Watkins Glen International. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Wheelan Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Wheelan Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Back at Watkins Glen, we continue under the green flag at the Bully Hill Vineyards. 176, 12 to go in Stage 2. Connor Zilich now has taken control of this race with Caden Honeycutt in hot pursuit. While we have a moment, let's take a look at who's getting it done on the track right now. Presented by Craftsman. DIY projects always sound simple until they're not. Luckily, Craftsman has your back with tools to power through the mess. You can go from what have I done to, yeah, I did that. Head to craftsman.com today. Craftsman, build on. Todd, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the one that stands out to me started back in the 30-something. Ross Chastain up to 6th. Whether that's on the racetrack, they drove their way forward, and what they've done on pit road, they're getting it done.
Yeah, that's an impressive drive, a little strategy coming into play. I'll give an honorable mention to the driver who's being scored 8th. That's Andres Perez de Lara. His career best finish in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is 7th. That came on the road course at St. Petersburg a little earlier this year, so he's in position to perhaps get another spot or two and have a career best day.
So we do have drivers that are on the move. We have some drivers that have obviously fallen back. We told you the challenges of Ty Majeski and Ben Rhodes and Connor Mosack. Christian Eckes has lost 15 spots since the start of the race. He was on pit road. He made contact with one of the tire packs down in turn 1 and has spent some time pit road under this most recent caution flag. Connor Zilich is the leader. Let's pick him up on the course.
He's on the back straightaway heading toward the inner loop and is continuing to pull away from the rest of the field, including Caden Honeycutt in the 2nd spot a lap ago. In turn number 5, Brent Cruz able to get to the inside of Carson Hocevar and take the 3rd spot back. Hocevar kicked back to 4th and is about to have his hands full. Chandler Smith is closed within a truck length in 5th. Ross Chastain part of that battle as well in the 6th spot as they exit turn 5 and hit the short straightaway.
We'll pick up that battle for that position headed out of turn number 5. Carson Hocevar checks his mirror. Chandler Smith in his F-150 about 1 truck length behind him. 2 truck lengths behind Chandler Smith is Ross Chastain. They follow each other nose to tail back to the front straightaway.
It's a great race here. And 3rd, 4th, 5th positions as they make their way past the start-finish line. Actually, it's 4th, 5th, and 6th at the moment. Carson Hocevar, Chandler Smith, Ross Chastain under braking downhill under the sunshine. In turn number 1, they're going to stay nose to tailgate, headed for turn 2.
Hocevar did a masterful job of putting his truck exactly where Brent Cruz wanted to be for the better part of 4 laps. But once Cruz made his way by, he has checked out. He's a good 12, maybe 15 trucks ahead of Hocevar, who now's got lots to worry about in the rearview mirror.
Including Ross Chastain, who is closing in on Chandler Smith. Both of those trucks bearing down on Carson Hocevar into the inner loop. Hocevar has about a 2 truck length cushion back to the duo behind him. Chandler Smith trying to fend off Ross Chastain, who is closed to within 1 truck length, was 5 back a lap ago.
Again, this is the ongoing fight for the 4th position. Exiting turn number 5, Carson Hocevar holds that position by still about 2 or 3 truck lengths over Chandler Smith. Smith has fallen off of the back bumper of Carson Hocevar and instead has slipped into the clutches of a fast approaching Ross Chastain.
That is the race for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Hocevar, Chandler Smith, and Ross Chastain wrestling for that position, 5.5 seconds behind race leader Connor Zilich.
Meet the all-new RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Hear uncensored audio from your favorite drivers, or listen to the live MRN broadcast, all hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth technology. Fast, lightweight, and built for race day, the RE4000 delivers zero latency, so you never miss a moment of the action. Powerful, wireless, effortless. That's the RE4000. Learn more at racingelectronics.com.
Welcome to more.
Green flag is in the air.
More action.
Photo finish.
More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends. More family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget. Welcome to NASCAR.
8 laps to go in Stage 2. Connor Zilich now leading his 9th lap of the afternoon. Caden Honeycutt, Brent Cruz, Carson Hocevar, Chandler Smith. Rounding out the top 5, we anticipate pit road.
Trouble turn 6. Around goes the Chris Wright truck, sliding into the gravel trap after contact from Mini Tyrell. They were trying to funnel down into turn number 6. Tyrell was there, made contact with the left rear quarter panel of Chris Wright. Wright remarkably somehow is looking to drive himself out of this gravel trap, and he does so. What a job by Chris Wright in his Silverado. He gets back onto the pavement after doing a 360 after contact from Mini Tyrell.
Mini Tyrell brings his truck to the pit lane. They were running 21st and 22nd at the time of the incident. We stay under the green flag from Watkins Glen International. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-375-3232. 800-375-3232. That's 800-375-3232. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
Your tickets now at mispeedway.com.
This is Ty Majeski. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
7 laps to go here in stage number 2 of the Bully Hill Vineyards. 176 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Connor Zilich is the race leader. Caden Honeycutt is second. Brent Cruz is right there in third. But Mike, Brent Cruz for the last lap or two has been running the fastest laps of the race.
He has got a very, very fast truck today, and right now he is putting it to work. He led 19 laps earlier in the opening stage of this race, and he got shuffled backward when Connor Zilich basically hip-checked him and took that lead away. He's trying to regain the lost ground.
Trouble back straight away. We have Wesley Slimp that missed the inner loop, went bouncing through the grass, kicked a bunch of dirt in the air, came to a stop for a moment, but is able to refire the truck and continue on.
Stay under the green flag. Good race in the S's. This is from 4th on back, led by Ross Chastain.
It's a conga line coming up the hill. Ross Chastain shows the way by about 5 truck lengths over Carson Hocevar, right behind Hocevar, the Chandler Smith machine.
Chastain absolutely muscled his way around Carson Hocevar 1 lap ago here in turn 5, set him up in the inner loop and was able to make the pass. By the time they got to my position, Chastain well into the top 5 now. Carson Hocevar back to 5th. Chandler Smith has his hands full. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen looking to his inside off of turn 5.
There are 6 trucks in a line, all battling for these positions comes out of turn number 5. Ross Chastain, the leader of all of these machines, going down into turn number 6. Then you've got Carson Hocevar, 2 truck lengths behind Chandler Smith, Shane Van Gisbergen, Lane Riggs, and Andres Perez de Lara to turn 7.
While that battle continues, the race leaders just crossed the start-finish line, giving us 5 laps to go in the stage. Probably going to have some pit stops in the next 2 laps. We'll see if that manifests itself. Let's pick up that battle for the number 4 position again. Chastain, Hocevar, Smith, Van Gisbergen, and others climbing the hill to Dave.
Chastain's got about 2 or 3 car lengths over Carson Hocevar. Hocevar now's got about a 4 truck length advantage. As they make their way up the hill, he'll have the advantage over Chandler Smith. 3 more trucks about 10 car lengths back.
Chandler Smith has lost a couple of spots here over the last few laps, but still very much a part of this battle as they race up the back straightaway. Chandler Smith trying to get away from Shane Van Gisbergen. Lane Riggs is right there on his back bumper, as is Andres Perez de Lara. Here comes Riggs to the inside of Van Gisbergen. That battle just into the top 10, exits turn 5.
An aggressive move by Lane Riggs. He shoves his way to the inside of Shane Van Gisbergen. They make contact coming off of turn number 5. This battle is not over. Shane Van Gisbergen trying to get back around Lane Riggs into turn 6. Shane Van Gisbergen locks up the tires. Riggs gets away. Now here comes Andres Perez de Lara.
Hard racing here from positions 8 on back. Here they come through turn number 7, making the way down the front straightaway. Andres Perez de Lara opens up the lane to drivers right, under braking into turn 1 on Shane Van Gisbergen. Perez de Lara has the whole shot. Can he make it work off turn 1?
Andres Perez side by side, drivers right on Shane Van Gisbergen. SVG's got some big time momentum though. He'll win the drag race into turn number 3. Now up through the S's, they'll go back to single file formation. Behind them, Daniel Hemrick jumps to the inside, drivers right, to take a spot from Minnie Tyrell.
Minnie Tyrell will fall back into line, 1 truck length behind Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick has a great battle, or a great view of that battle that was happening in front of him. Here comes Andres Perez de Lara again, trying to build a run to the exit of the inner loop on Shane Van Gisbergen for a spot. He'll close to within 1 truck length.
All this traffic exits turn number 5. There is one really slow truck in turn number 6. That is the Tanner Gray Toyota. He actually came to a stop. He's able to fire it back up again. Here come those trucks into turn 6. Shane Van Gisbergen, 1 truck length ahead of Andres Perez de Lara. Behind them, you've got Daniel Hemrick and Minnie Tyrell racing hard.
3 laps to go in this stage. Shane Van Gisbergen passed a couple of laps ago by Lane Riggs, and SVG took umbrage. A little physical racing on the racetrack while pit road is open, and we've got takers, Jason Toy.
Brett Cruz is in, bringing his Toyota 4-tire Sunoco fuel as they work their way in, having to work their way around the much slower Tanner Gray truck as he is going at the snail pace, working his way around. Brett Cruz completes work. Just before this, it was Gio Ruggiero, 4-tire Sunoco fuel, Steve Post.
Ross Chastain is in, going to go 4-tire Sunoco racing fuel as well. Stage 1 winner Daniel Hemrick brings his Chevrolet into the attention of the crew. 4 tires and fuel as well. Adam Andretti is in, and A.J. Allmendinger getting pit service here on lap number 37.
Next time by, the race leader comes to the start-finish line. The pits will close. That means 2 laps to go in the second stage, I should say, of the Bully Hill Vineyards 176. The leader is Connor Zilich. We'll wait and see if he elects to come to pit lane. He will not. Stays on the racetrack. Pit lane will close, but Caden Honeycutt has come to pit road. I'm not so sure he made it in time, Todd.
I don't think he did. It was right there at a split moment. They'll go back and have to watch that one, whether he can roll all the way through and not stop in his box and not have a penalty.
Caden Honeycutt's on pit road. Connor Zilich on the final lap of stage 2. Let's pick him up on the course.
Up out of turn 4 with a huge lead. Connor Zilich walking the park as he looks to finish up stage 2.
Has Gio Ruggiero, who had been on pit road just a couple laps ago, just in front of him by about 10 truck lengths or so, and nobody really behind him for Connor Zilich as he exits the inner loop and dives off into turn number 5 for the final time here in stage number 2 with a healthy advantage.
Connor Zilich exiting turn number 5 right now, all by himself as the race leader. here. The only traffic that he has ahead of him is the Gio Ruggiero Toyota. That Toyota of Ruggiero is about 20 truck lengths in front of Zilich. Zilich calmly through turn number 6, gets on the rumble strips ever so slightly, and now turns right in turn 7.
He'll make his way underneath the Go Bowling pedestrian bridge. We'll begin the final lap now of stage number 2. Connor Zilich up front. He's got a 14-second lead right now over his nearest competition as the field continues to work. We've had some of the front runners peel off the track and come to pit road before it closed last lap by. Let's follow Connor Zilich up the S's.
He can almost get out and walk to the green and white checkered flag at this point. A massive lead for Connor Zilich. No cars to pass, no danger of being passed onto the back straightaway.
A lot of trucks that were just on pit road the last couple of laps in front of him. Nobody challenging Connor Zilich, though, for the race lead as he works his way through the inner loop. Still watching the slower truck of Tanner Gray. He keeps that truck off to driver's right at the exit of the inner loop as Connor Zilich goes to the inside into turn number 5.
Here comes the race leader, Connor Zilich, in his black and yellow Chevrolet. The impressive thing about the race leader so far this afternoon, watching him in this section of the track, that truck has not bobbled once. He has been smooth, he's been fast, and he works his way into turn 7 as the race leader.
Looking for the green and white checkered flag and his 17th lap led. It's unbelievable, the stat, but Connor Zilich has never led in a Craftsman Truck Series race until today as the green and white checkered flag goes in the air and Connor Zilich picks up the stage number 2 win. 15.4 seconds back, we wait on the second place truck. That's Carson Hocevar. He's by the line. Hocevar will finish the stage 2nd. Chandler Smith will be 3rd. Lane Riggs will be 4th. Shane Van Gisbergen will be passed by Andres Perez de Lara. So Perez will get 5th. Van Gisbergen will be 6th. Grant Enfinger will finish the stage 7th. 8th will be Tyler Ankrum. 9th, Tyler Reif. And Connor Mozak rounds out the top 10 of stage number 2. And the caution flag is out for the second time today, presented by Hardee's.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected to the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
Wherever you are in life, Freeway gives you more ways to choose and more ways to save. You choose the coverage, you choose the price. Because at Freeway, it's all about real people, real choices, and real savings for every driver. No matter where you live, Freeway's here to help. Your way. And remember, you always win with Freeway. Go to freeway.com and start saving today. Freeway, your way.
From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Craftsman Truck Series race on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Heim runs Majeski. Way up the banking is Corey Heim.
Majeski slid up the racetrack and Corey Heim clear as the leader.
Your exclusive home for all the exciting racing action of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Checkered flag is waving at the start-finish line for the 12th time in 2025. Corey Heim will take that checkered flag.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, only on the NASCAR Racing Network.
The field of 40 drivers who will compete in the 2026 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Championship Series, NASCAR's officially sanctioned eSports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world, is set. More than $500,000 will be on the line, with $100,000 going to the series champion. Don't forget to tune in Tuesday, May 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 1 at Charlotte on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola, iRacing, and NASCAR.
Listen to daily NASCAR news from the Motor Racing Network on NASCAR Hot Pass and NASCAR Today.
31 laps to go here in the Bully Hill Vineyards 176 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The field behind the Toyota Camry pace car comes by the entrance to pit road. It remains closed because Tanner Gray's truck at a snail's pace has been creeping down the pit lane, finally able to get that truck to its pit box, so they could not open pit lane this time by.
We are capping off a doubleheader today. Earlier, it was the Arca Menard Series racing in the General Tire 100. Caden Honeycutt got the win there. Of course, we're running the trucks right now. Tomorrow, we'll have NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying coming your way. Be sure to join us at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. That'll be followed by the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series Mission 200 at the Glen. Motor Racing Network airtime, 3:30 p.m. Eastern for that one. Then, on Sunday, the NASCAR Cup cars go bowling at the Glen. Motor Racing Network on the air at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
So while we wait for pit lane to open up, let's give you an idea where your favorite driver is being scored here with 41 laps complete. Connor Zilic is the race leader. Carson Hocevar is second. Chandler Smith is third. Lane Riggs is fourth. Andres Perez de Lara is fifth. Shane Van Gisbergen goes sixth. Grant Enfinger is seventh. Tyler Ankrum is eighth. Tyler Reif ninth. And Connor Mozak is 10th.
The Garcia truck is running in the 11th position right now with Corey LaJoy in 12th. You got Justin Haley in 13th. You've got Nathan Nicholson in the 14th position, that is. Kane Honeycutt is 15th. Christian Eckes is 16th with Brent Cruz in 17th. Dawson Sutton's in 18th. Butterbean Queen in the 19th spot. Ross Chastain is in 20th.
21st is Timmy Hill. Chris Wright is 22nd. Daniel Hemrick goes 23rd. A.J. Allmendinger is 24th. Gio Ruggiero is 25th. Stephen Malazzi is 26th. He's the last truck on the lead lap. Stuart Friesen is 27th. Adam Andretti 28th. Minnie Tyrell 29th. And Ty Majeski is 30th.
31st is Tanner Gray. 32nd is Jackson Lee. Wesley Slimp is 33rd. An update on that in a moment. 34th is Cole Butcher, 35th Ben Rhodes, and 36th is Natalie Decker. We talked about Wesley Slimp missing the inner loop. That happened in front of Kyle Rickey. He was able to bring the truck back to the garage, but the crew has just picked up part of the front end chassis assembly that he left in the grass over in the inner loop, and that was some big pieces of machinery. That truck dug in and basically ripped the bottom of that truck off. It was amazing to watch that.
Yeah, that's going to be an expensive repair for that race team once they get that back to the race shop. Before pit lane opens up and we have pit stops, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. NASCAR Racing Network live at Watkins Glen International. Alex Hayden, Todd Gordon, Mike Bagley in the booth, Dave Moody, Kyle Rickey, Tim Catalfamo in the turns, and on the pit lane, Steve Post and Jason Toy. You're up.
Different times and different things going on here with some of these teams. You got Carson Hocevar, 4-tire Sunoco fuel. Further back, you got Brent Cruz. 3 seconds of fuel only. They count him down. He's going to get his fuel and pull away here on the entrance of pit road. Also in Corey LaJoy, Christian Eckes, and Andres Perez de Lara, 4-tire Sunoco fuel. Steve Post.
Connor Zilic is in. Kevin Bonomanian told the fueler, fill that fuel up. He's shaking his head. He's nodding his head. Going back in again for just a little bit more fuel as they're a little slow on the right rear tire of the Zilic truck. Goes Connor Mozak down and away. Shane Van Gisbergen making sure they've got all the fuel in that truck as well, and I'm not sure whose it is. There's one lonely Goodyear Racing Eagle rolling right down toward turn number 1, right down the middle of pit road.
And that is not something that you want right there, because that's going to be a very, very costly situation. Tip of the cap to A.J. Allmendinger. First off pit road in front of Caden Honeycutt, Brent Cruz, Andres Perez, and Gio Ruggiero. Some good pit work there with the Colleague Racing Ram effort. That'll get A.J. Allmendinger off the pit lane first as we continue to work Hardy's caution number 2.
Every DIY project has that oh no moment. The missing bolt, the measured cut, the second, third, and fourth trips to the hardware store. That's where Craftsman comes in. Whether you're tackling the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the job done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Head to Craftsman.com today and find the right tools for any project. Craftsman. Build on.
For 250 years, America has been more than a place. It's been a promise, a story of courage, hope, and dreams. And through it all, local TV and radio broadcasters have been there, telling the story of America, bringing truth to light. Broadcasters tell the story of who we are and who we aspire to be. We are America's storytellers. We are broadcasters. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Back at Watkins Glen, the tire that we told you about that was loose on pit road, it went all the way down pit road, down the hill, around the bend, and finally has come to a halt midway on the short chute between turns 1 and 2. That tire has been retrieved and is currently being analyzed to see who that tire belongs to. A penalty will ensue. From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Did you miss us? NASCAR is back for the biggest 4th of July weekend in 250 years. Salute our heroes, continue our traditions, and celebrate America, featuring the Busch Light Summer Music Series. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of speed. NASCAR weekend at Chicagoland Speedway, July 3rd through 5th. Get your tickets now at chicagolandspeedway.com.
Introducing the RE4000 Bluetooth scanner from Racing Electronics. Experience uncensored real-time audio from drivers and crews. All hands-free and wireless with Bluetooth functionality. Fast, lightweight, and zero latency, the RE4000 keeps you locked into every pass, every pit stop, and every checkered flag. Plus, with automatic over-the-air programming at major events, setup is quick and effortless. Check it out at racingelectronics.com today.
This is Lane Riggs. You're listening to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen International. Under the caution flag, the second Hardy's caution of the day. There have been no caution flags for cause, just for stage breaks. One at lap 20, one at lap 40, and then now, Alex, this sets us up for the stretch run to the black and white checkered flag that awaits these teams at the end of this race.
Strategically, Todd, is there enough Sunoco fuel in the tank for them to be able to get to the advertised distance?
That's a great question, and it depends on how many cautions we have from this part forward, whether we can get there. Heard from Steve Post that there were crew chiefs of trucks that were very competitive that didn't feel like they could make it from this stage all the way to the end, that they'd be a lap or two short. Now, a caution in this final run will put you in that window to be good.
Now, Ross Chastain and Daniel Hemrick stayed on the racetrack. They pitted at lap 37. Caden Honeycutt and A.J. Allmendinger and company, they pitted at lap 43, just this previous lap. However, Caden Honeycutt seems like he's going to have some challenges here.
Yeah, we're trying to effort that. We have not heard anything officially from NASCAR Race Control if there is indeed a penalty, but Steve Post, it seems like the team is convinced they're going to start at the tail end of the field.
And then question is, did he make it to pit road before the caution light, the red light came on when Connor Zilic crossed the line? Some of the other teams talked about the fact that there was a penalty, so I'm not 100% sure. Scott Zipadelli just brought him down again and topped it off with fuel because we are in this tight fuel window, and Scott just said we have to start at the back no matter what we do, and so we might just as well top it off with fuel. So still trying to get information about whether there's a penalty or not. The reality of it is that he has one lap, Caden Honeycutt has one lap better on fuel than everyone else, but he's going to start last here on this start. But one lap better is still right on that margin that the crew chiefs told me that they're really, really tight on this one.
So we'll wait and see how it all plays out here as we continue to effort the find out if there was in fact a penalty for Caden Honeycutt and that team. But it did look like the pit lane closed as the leader passed the start-finish line with 2 laps to go there in that stage before he came in as the field works their way to the restart zone.
Here we go. Lap 44 will be completed. That'll give us 28 to settle it here at Watkins Glen. Ross Chastain, Daniel Hemrick restarting on the front row. Here they They come to the restart. Green flag is up, and we're back at it at the Glen. Side by side for the lead. Double wide, 2 rows deep, 3 wide further back. Everybody hard on the binders, woeing their trucks down to negotiate the 90-degree right-hander turn 1 as they head to 2.
Exiting turn 1, the Mellow Man will take command. Ross Chastain now by a truck length as they begin to wind their way up through the S's. Chastain trying to pull away, not having a lot of luck. Hemrick is still there. They are 3 wide for 5th. Zilich and Hocevar split another truck high and low.
Connor Zilich trying to come to the front of the field, and up front, battle for the lead. Daniel Hemrick stepped out of line, heading into the inner loop under braking on race leader Ross Chastain. Chastain able to fend him off for now. Hemrick gets in the line in second. Brent Cruz right there in third as they exit turn 5.
That's the top 3, single file out of turn number 5. Running 4th right now on the racetrack is A.J. Allmendinger in that black Ram. He has got about a half a truck length over Connor Zilich. That's how the top 5 runs, single file. Behind them, they are 3 wide from about 10th on back. St. Van Gisbergen is part of that mess as they go to turn 7.
The haymakers are flying coming into turn number 7.
Yeah, Lane Riggs was part of that mix as well. They all get away with it without too many scratches on their trucks. Now, we did get confirmation that Caden Honeycutt did have to restart at the tail end of the field for indeed coming to pit road after it was closed just before the end of stage number 2. He's got a lot of track position to make up, Dave.
Challenge and change now for the number 4 position. Charging to the inside, Connor Zilich. He'll go driver's right. Take the position away from A.J. Allmendinger. A.J.'s not out of trouble yet. Here comes Gio Ruggiero.
Had a look to the inside. Our driver's right to the top of the hill off of turn number 4, but fell back in the line. Allmendinger in 5th. Then it's going to be another truck length back to Gio Ruggiero. Top 3 able to get away in turn 5. Ross Chastain has 2 truck lengths over the battle for second, led by Daniel Hemrick.
Daniel Hemrick is there. Brent Cruz trying to challenge him for the runner-up position. They remain on the line, racing down the short straightaway on the approach to turn number 6, slamming on the brakes, turning their trucks to the left, racing for these positions. Further back, A.J. Allmendinger under fire from Gio Ruggiero and Carson Hocevar.
Everybody knotted together coming back to the main straightaway. Chastain leads. It's Hemrick, Cruz, and Zilich. 4-truck breakaway. Then you get to A.J. Allmendinger, who rides in 5th. Gio Ruggiero right there in position 6th. And then Carson Hocevar, Andres Perez, Lane Riggs, and SVG. The leaders head to the S's.
A.J. Allmendinger feeling like General Custer right now. They've got him surrounded, but he's a pretty good road racer himself. He's been able to hold off the traffic. He actually pulls away by about a truck length over Gio Ruggiero.
Running in position number 5, just in front of Gio Ruggiero, who fades just a bit in the 6th spot. Top 4, though, have been able to drive away from Allmendinger, led by Ross Chastain. They make their way through the inner loop. Now into turn number 5. Daniel Hemrick is there in the 2nd spot. Brent Cruz there in 3rd, and just behind him and looking to the inside, here comes Connor Zilich.
Daniel Hemrick in the 2nd position right now. Better not look in the rearview mirror. He has got 2 drivers that are awfully aggressive right behind him. Brent Cruz in his Toyota Tundra trying to fend off a challenge from Connor Zilich. Those 2 racing hard for that position back to turn 7.
Here they come up off of turn number 7. Ross Chastain opens up a truck length because they are really getting after it from second on back. Hemrick is driving for all he's worth to hang on to the runner-up spot. Brent Cruz is there. Connor Zilich as well. Under braking as they downshift into turn number 1. Sliding by for the 2nd spot is Brent Cruz.
Textbook braking maneuver by Brent Cruz. He got about a truck length inside, then just slid through on the driver's right low line in turn number 1. Now up through the S's. He sets out in pursuit of the leader, Ross Chastain.
Daniel Hemrick gets back in the line in position number 3 as Ross Chastain continues to lead, and will have a new challenger to his back bumper by the time they get to the corner. Brent Cruz is there within a truck length and a half. Hemrick not letting them get away, still within arm's reach, but he has a lot of pressure from Connor Zilich, who once again peeks to the inside in turn 5. It looks like he's going to get up alongside.
Connor Zilich gets alongside of the Chevrolet of Daniel Hemrick and makes the pass for the 3rd position out of turn number 5. Up front, Brent Cruz driving aggressively, trying to get to the race leader, Ross Chastain. Chastain only holds a truck length over Brent Cruz in the fight for the lead.
Ross Chastain is putting his truck through the paces right now, just trying to hang on to the lead. lead. Meanwhile, Brent Cruz has those Mobil 1 sails in the wind. He has gotten by Hemrick. He's gotten by Connor Zilic. And now the race leader directly ahead, racing for the lead with 24 to go at Watkins Glen.
Cruz, who led early and got kind of side shuffled back around the top 5, is on the march here again. He is up to the number 2 position, just a truck length back on Ross Chastain. Then it's 7 or 8 more back to Connor Zilic, 5 more to Daniel Hemrick.
Getting strung out toward the front of the field among the top 5, but not up front. Here is Brent Cruz stepping out of line, trying to set up Ross Chastain, potentially for a challenge at the exit of the inner loop. Closes to within 1 truck length, but can't build that run that he was looking for into turn number 5 and has to settle in the tire tracks of Ross Chastain.
And as Chastain and Brent Cruz continue the battle for the lead, it has allowed Connor Zilic to draw even closer to 2 of them. They are now going to have a 3-truck battle for the race lead. Ross Chastain, 1 truck length in front of Brent Cruz. 1 truck length behind Brent Cruz is Connor Zilic.
Ross Chastain hustles his truck through turn number 7, maintains half a truck length advantage over Brent Cruz, who's right there. Now call it a truck length and a half. Ross Chastain gets a good pull down the front straightaway, but Cruz and Zilic close in under braking in turn 1.
Connor Zilic now looming large in the rearview mirror of the 2 leaders as they race their way toward turn number 2. Ross Chastain has almost opened it up a little bit, has actually opened it up a little bit. He's got about a 3-truck length lead now over Cruz. 3 more back to Zilic.
Cruz losing just a little bit of ground to the race leader Ross Chastain. About 3 truck lengths between those 2. Another 3 more back to Connor Zilic, who's about to make it a 3-way battle for the top spot. All by himself in the 4th spot, Daniel Hemrick, as he makes his way through the inner loop. Battle for second is on. Here comes Connor Zilic. Had a great exit of the inner loop and entry into turn number 5 and applying pressure for that runner-up position.
Connor Zilic tried to get a fender alongside Brent Cruz, was unsuccessful out of turn number 5. Instead, Connor Zilic will follow Brent Cruz down the short straightaway. Now through turn 6, still racing hard for this runner-up spot to turn 7.
There's a lot of battling going on inside of the top 15 right now. We're focused on this race for the lead between Ross Chastain, Brent Cruz, and Connor Zilic. You drop further back, Gio Ruggiero, Carson Hocevar are going at it for 5th. You got a battle for 8th in Riggs, Perez, and Van Gisbergen. But up front, Connor Zilic on the move to the inside in contact in turn 1.
Second time this afternoon that Zilic and Cruz have made contact racing at the front of the pack. This time Zilic slides through driver's right. He'll take over the number 2 position. Brent Cruz trying to counterattack, but there's nothing there as they hit the backstretch.
And as they battled for the 2nd spot, it allowed Ross Chastain to pull away at the front of the field. A healthy 5 to 6 truck length advantage up the back straightaway and into the inner loop. Connor Zilic now into the 2nd position and trying to close down into turn number 5 and draw away from Brent Cruz, who was just kicked back to the 3rd spot just a couple of moments ago.
I don't think this battle for second is over just yet, especially after that contact in turn number 1 between Zilic and Brent Cruz. I think Cruz is driving with a little bit more motivation right now, trying to get to the back bumper of Connor Zilic and repay the favor. They remain 2 truck lengths apart in the ongoing race for second.
That enables race leader Ross Chastain to get another truck length or 2 to his advantage. Chastain leads, 21 laps to go. Brent Cruz some 7, or rather Connor Zilic 7 truck lengths in arrears. Then it's Brent Cruz, he'll go 3rd. Daniel Hemrick is 4th, and Gio Ruggiero rounds out the top 5.
Ross Chastain saying, you boys fight it out as long as you want. He's taken advantage of their little skirmish to put some different distance between himself and Connor Zilic. It's 7, maybe 8 truck lengths heading up the hill. Now 5 between Zilic and Brent Cruz.
Zilic unable to close on race leader Ross Chastain as Zilic pulls away from Brent Cruz in the 3rd spot. Daniel Hemrick, who was a part of this lead battle on the restart several laps ago, has faded into 4th. Gio Ruggiero in 5th. He too been able to break away by a couple of lengths from Carson Hocevar. At the front of the field, 3 truck lengths between the top 3 to the exit of turn 5.
Here comes Ross Chastain in his red and green Chevy, leading behind Connor Zilich by about 3 truck lengths. It's another 4 truck lengths back to pick up the third place truck of Brent Cruz. Then behind Brent Cruz, you have to go 10 truck lengths back to pick up the fourth place machine of Daniel Hemrick. Gio Ruggiero in 5th. Carson Hocevar 6th. AJ Allmendinger 7th.
Ross Chastain has 5 laps less fuel than Connor Zilich and Brent Cruz. Todd Gordon, how in the world do you save fuel if you're Ross Chastain?
You don't. You don't. What you look at is, and this is a kind of a gamble that you make on this, is that last year, if you looked at this race, we had 5 cautions in the final stage. If we have 2 or 3 cautions, he'll make up that fuel by not burning it under caution and be able to make it to the end. If we go green to the end, they're going to be short.
And that is part of that big gamble that they're hoping they're going to have history repeat itself 1 year later. Chastain's advantage, half a second over Connor Zilich. Brent Cruz is 3rd. Rest of the top 10, we'll see Daniel Hemrick 4th. Gio Ruggiero is 5th. Carson Hocevar 6th. AJ Allmendinger giving it a good run today in 7th. Andres Perez de Lara is 8th. Shane Van Gisbergen in 9th. And Tyler Reif is 10th.
Let's run you down deeper through the leaderboard. Running in 11th right now is Connor Mosack. Lane Riggs is 12th. Caden Honeycutt's 13th, Chandler Smith is 14th, and Justin Haley is 15th with 20 laps to go in the race. 16th is Corey LaJoy, Grant Enfinger is 17th, Jake Garcia is 18th, Adam Andretti is 19th, and Christian Eckes is 20th.
Dawson Sutton is 21st, 22nd is Tyler Ankrum, 23rd is Timmy Hill, 24th on the racetrack at the moment is Chris Wright. Stuart Friesen runs in position number 25. 26th at the moment is Nathan Nicholson. Then you've got Butterbean Queen 27th, Stephen Malazzi 28th, Minnie Tyrell 29th, and Ty Majeski is 30th.
31st is Jackson Lee, Tanner Gray is 32nd, Ben Rhodes is 33rd, Wesley Slimp 34th, Cole Butcher 35th, and Natalie Decker is 36th. Battle for the lead heads to the inner loop.
What was a half second is a half a truck length. Here is Zilich stepping out of line into the inner loop on Ross Chastain. Tried to get up alongside. Chastain drove in a bit deeper, was able to hang on to the race lead. Zilich right there, as is Brent Cruz. Top 3 right together off turn 5.
Connor Zilich wants by the race leader, Ross Chastain. They still remain about a truck length apart, racing down the short straightaway. Chastain on the brakes, turning the truck to the left. So is Zilich. So is Brent Cruz. They are stacked together, a 3-truck fight for the race lead.
Ross Chastain seems to have the advantage on the exit of the corners, but Connor Zilich eats him alive, under braking going into the turns. They flash by the start-finish line. 18 laps to go. 3 trucks battle for the race lead in the late laps of Watkins Glen. Back to turn 1 they go.
3 drivers under a blanket now battling for the lead. They will make their way past the limping truck of Natalie Decker, who returned from the garage area a lap or 2 ago, well off the pace. Here they come, up through the S's. It's Ross Chastain by 3 over Connor Zilich. 5 more back to Cruz.
Great racing at the front of the field. This one far from over as Ross Chastain leads under braking into the inner loop by a 1 truck length over Connor Zilich, who closes that gap. Then 2 more back to Brent Cruz in position number 3. Out of the inner loop into turn number 5. Zilich looks to driver's right, but Chastain is there maintaining the top spot.
Ross Chastain gets a nice launch out of turn number 5 and pulls away from Connor Zilich ever so slightly. Brent Cruz in the 3rd spot a lap ago was much closer to the back bumper of Connor Zilich. This time through turn 6, he trails Zilich, the 2nd place truck, by about 2 truck lengths.
These fans here at Watkins Glen International being entertained with a tremendous battle for the lead, and we hope all of you are listening on the NASCAR Racing Network. Ross Chastain being stalked and pursued by Connor Zilich. Brent Cruz is there. 3.5 seconds back is Daniel Hemrick. 3 drivers. It's a 3-driver free-for-all for the lead in 2.
Ross Chastain is going to have to pitch a perfect game the rest of the way. 1 tiny bobble, 1 little mistake, 1 moment offline, and Connor Zilich is right there to capitalize. They have pulled away a little bit now over Brent Cruz on the back straightaway.
So far, so good for Ross Chastain at the front of the field as he makes his way up the back straightaway and now into the inner loop. 1 truck length over 2nd place running Connor Zilich. Then a bit of a gap, as Dave mentioned, back to Brent Cruz, fading in 3rd. 2 truck breakaway at the point, led by Ross Chastain to the exit of turn 5 and onto the short stretch.
Connor Zilich in that 2nd spot, looking for just a little bit of daylight, and anything to get to the inside or outside of Ross Chastain and make a move for the lead. This time through turn 6. They remain separated by a truck length. Chastain leads the pack back to turn 7.
Stays one full truck length, make it 2 on exit of turn 7 with 16 laps to go.
NASCAR history. What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level. Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
In the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins the Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
No change at the front of the field. Still a truck length, sometimes 2. That's it. Ross Chastain leads Connor Zilisch. Brent Cruz rounds out the top 3 from Watkins Glen International. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Wheelan Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Wheelan Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
Find your local radio station or check out Motor Racing Network's broadcast schedule on MRN.com.
Back here at Watkins Glen International, the caution flag is flying immediately as we come back, and that is for Grant Enfinger, who's come to a rest. Mike, we were looking at him going very slowly down the front straightaway. We didn't think for sure he'd be able to make it back up the hill over in the S's.
Yeah, he was very slow going down the hill into turn 1, Dave. He's doing everything he can to get her started, but is having minimal success.
He pulled all the way driver's left up next to the Armco barrier outside of the tire packs. The caution flew. He started rolling ever so slightly, but now it's stopped again. Just no power. Lights are out under the hood of the Grant Enfinger machine.
Now here's a look at who's getting it done on the track right now. Presented by Craftsman. DIY projects always sound simple until they're not. Luckily, Craftsman has your back. With tools to power through the mess, you can go from what have I done to yeah, I did that. Head to craftsman.com today. Craftsman, build on. Guys, what do you think?
My thought is, and this is going to go away from the broadcast that we've been giving you, those top 3. The one that's getting it done for me, A.J. Allmendinger, up in the 7th position in that Ram truck. First year for Ram, coming over here driving for Kaulig Racing. I think he's getting it done, 7th.
And I will agree with that, because that Ram program, it's brand new. Chris Rice and everybody at Kaulig Racing has told us they have 0 notes. When they have pulled onto this property, their notebook was empty. They have nothing to go on. And by putting A.J. Allmendinger in that truck and with them having the successes that they've had, I would say that their road course notebook is getting a lot of quality entries today with A.J. Allmendinger, who, by the way, will be joining us in the broadcast booth on Motor Racing Network tomorrow for the NASCAR Rally Auto Parts Series Mission 200.
Well, this is going to be an interesting caution now, because Watkins Glen, with the elevation changes that we have here, Todd, affords these drivers great opportunities to save some fuel.
It does. It does. There's a lot of areas. Obviously, from the bottom of turn 2. You've got to be fired up going downhill into 2 and get yourself up to the top of 4 there. But it's fairly flat there. The carousel is a downhill sweeping right-hander. There's opportunities to save some fuel here. I wonder how many guys will actually come and make sure that they're good, because you don't always know that you can pick up every bit that's in that cell.
Looking across the track to pit road, there are a lot of tires up on the wall and a lot of teams preparing to bring their driver down for service. Pit road will be open when the field comes out of turn number 7, and that will come to 13 to go, setting up for what probably will be around a 10-lap sprint to the end of this one this afternoon. Pace cars got the field in tow. They're exiting turn 6, angling up for the entrance to turn 7.
And the other factor in this, with just the 13 laps to go this time, are the fact that there are 28 trucks still on the lead lap. So if you pit here and a lot of the other trucks don't, you're going to be mired back in some traffic. Pit lane is open. Who's going to come in? It looks like Chastain stays on the track. The third-place running truck, rather the sixth-place truck of Daniel Hemrick, he'll come to pit road. Andres Perez de Lara, Shane Van Gisbergen, and a host of trucks elect to come to pit road. Jason Toy.
Andres Perez de Lara has been having a fantastic run today. Wally Rogers and Andy Houston, his spotter. Wally Rogers, the crew chief, they debated a long time what they were going to do. They're going to go on offense with 4 fresh Racing Goodyear Eagles and Sunoco Fuel. Steve Post.
Shane Van Gisbergen is in. Going to be 4 tires. They're going to make sure he has Sunoco Racing fuel only for Lane Riggs. They did not think they could make it. Going to be 4 tires. Major chassis adjustment on Chandler Smith. The feel has gone away on that Ford F-150. The conversation on Ross Chastain's radio was fascinating. I checked in with Phil Gould, the crew chief, prior to that caution, and he said, we are really, really close on this. I don't know that we can make it to the end. Under caution, they asked Ross how much you saved. He felt like he had saved a fair amount. Remember, he's running for the lead, and they got into turn number 6, and Phil said, my opinion is we've made our decision, we stick to it. Ross says, I'm with you, I'm staying out, and they did. Of note, Connor Zilich, they feel like this puts them in the window where they can race to the end.
And we talked in this race between Connor Zilich and Ross Chastain about the fact that Zilich really beat him in the braking zones. Well, that's a place that you do save fuel. You lift a little bit early on entry, roll the car down in. That's part of why I think Connor Zilich looks so aggressive on the braking zones, is Ross has been working it, saving into the braking zones.
And Ross has been getting the launch out of the turns. So you've got the best of both worlds right there, some working out better for others.
And the other piece is that old saying, cautions
breed cautions.
Yes, they do. So Phil Gould, I think, is working on this one, that it can come forward and give them a little bit more fuel.
In your best calculations, though, Todd, for these teams that stayed on the track, they feel like, as Steve Post just reported, can get to the advertised distance. What happens if we go into overtime here?
Well,
punt.
The part is, and especially on these aggressive teams, you've got Ross Chastain. You've got Cup drivers. They're not racing for individual, like, truck driver's points. They're racing for wins. And this is where you play that gamble between, do I want to chase a win? Do I want to chase good points today? We've got a couple guys up here. Brent Cruz is rolling around there, but he came and got fuel. They topped off. They short pitted, but they topped off when they got the opportunity.
This is going to be quite the interesting dynamic when we go back under the green flag. You've obviously got Ross Chastain that has a lot of experience. We know about Connor Zilich's road course prowess. Brent Cruz is fairly new to this. I mean, he just went full-time in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. He's just turned 18 back in March. So, I mean, he's still, a little green around the gills, so to speak. So you've got that lined up, and then you've got others behind them. Gio Ruggiero, that does always well on road courses. Carson Hocevar is in this mix. A.J. Allmendinger is in this mix. So we've got it all spread over the board with the skills, the abilities, and with the setups and with the quality of equipment that's at the front of this field right now.
This field is stacked when you look at it. I mean, it is stacked in all sorts of talent, and guys that have won on road courses and are really talented at it, driving really good trucks.
And the other thing to keep in mind is everybody that did not pit this time having to save fuel, which means they shut the engines off and coast as much as they possibly can. NASCAR pays close attention. You must maintain pace car speed. Ross Chastain just gunned it just a bit. So did Zilich to pull even with the pace car, as these teams now and these drivers play that cat and mouse game floating right on that line.
Yeah, it is. But when you do this, by shutting it off and coasting as long as you can, then firing it back up and just using a spurt of gas to speed yourself back up, then shut it off, you can make 2.5 times the fuel efficiency under caution than you can under green. So if you look at it, we always use the 2-to-1, where every 2 laps of caution buys you a lap of green flag. It's actually more than that, because you can almost get to 3-to-1 on the burn here. So you gain a lot more distance by really being diligent on this fuel save.
So for those that are listening that are not up to speed on the inner workings of this process, we've seen it bite Marcus Ambrose before at the Cup race at Watkins Glen. So you're riding around, let's say you're riding around in 4th gear, 3rd gear, whatever, 2nd gear, and you're under caution, and you go to pop the clutch. Explain how this works, that you can save fuel, but you can also maintain some speed, firing it back up, and basically toggling back and forth with what you just described.
So if you've got an old school standard car and you ever had a dead battery, you roll down the hill, you put it in 2nd gear, and you get some speed up, you pop the clutch out, and basically the rear tires drive the motor. So what we do is the drivers do the same thing. We don't use the starter with it. They'll go ahead and they'll gas up. If the pace car is doing 40 miles an hour, we're going to drive it up to 50 miles an hour, or 45. And as soon as I get there, I'm going to shut the ignition off, push the clutch in, and I'm going to coast. And while I've got the clutch pushed in, I'll turn the ignition back on. And when it slows down to, say, 35 miles an hour, I'll go ahead and dump that clutch and use the tires to drive the motor, to fire the motor again. Step on the gas, get back to that 45 miles an hour, kill the ignition. So you'll have like 3 seconds of running to coast for 12 or 14 seconds, saving the fuel that you wouldn't burn during those 14 seconds.
Well versed in doing that. Back when I turned 16, I used to sneak out of the house and push the old Volkswagen Bug down the road, jump in, pop the clutch, and then drive away for an hour or two and come on back.
What, you didn't want Mama to hear the engine fire up there in the driveway?
Couldn't have that happen. So that's part of the process on how you save fuel in a NASCAR machine. We've gotten the 1 to go. We'll make our way back around. That'll give us 11 laps to go when the green flag flies.
Ross Chastain will start on the front row next to Connor Zilich, and then Gio Ruggiero will slide up, and he'll start next to Brent Cruz. The field is slinging their trucks from side to side, and in front of Tim Catalfemo in turn 6.
They are getting ready for this restart. You've got Ross Chastain to the inside of Connor Zilich, and I'll be interested to see how these two deal with each other side by side coming to this restart. Brent Cruz has been very aggressive, so has Gio Ruggiero, as the pace car quickly evacuates the dance floor and heads back to pit road.
Makes its way behind the wall. The field will hit the restart zone, and the green flag goes back in the air. Ross Chastain jumps on the throttle. He'll lead the field up off turn number 7. Great restart. Now it's trouble. Carson Hocevar gets turned around. He'll slam to the inside wall, driver's side first. Caution flag comes right back out. We didn't hardly get going, and cautions breed cautions.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And Ross Chastain and Phil Gould are feeling pretty good about their decision. They said they were right there. Here's another opportunity to save.
Hardy's caution number 4 flying over the Bully Hill Vineyards 176, and that was hard contact with Carson Hocevar, driver's side into the inside wall. After somebody got jammed up, the field got jacked up, and all of a sudden Carson Hocevar came spinning out of the pack of traffic. Safety crews have arrived on the scene, tending to Carson Hocevar, who brings out Hardy's caution number 4.
Every DIY project has that oh no moment. The missing bolt, the measured cut, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th trips to the hardware store. That's where Craftsman comes in. Whether you're tackling the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the job done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Head to Craftsman.com today and find the right tools for any project. Craftsman, build on. The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series races here. The Motor Racing Network.
Side by side into one. Zilich trying to get the advantage up high. Puts the squeeze on Eric Almirola. Connor Zilich by half a car length off through 2.
We have you covered from the green flag to the checker.
Connor Zilich to the lead, but they're 4 wide behind him.
The voice of NASCAR.
Here comes Jesse Love to the start-finish line. He'll win at Phoenix.
The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series races on the Motor Racing Network.
Carson Hocevar has been able to drive away from the accident scene here at the head end of the front stretch. Matter of fact, he just did a little spinorama, brought the truck down pit road. There is damage, obviously, on the left side of that truck. The crew is tending to that as we speak, but we are under caution with 11 laps remaining. From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You're ready. Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
Love sprint car dirt track racing? Check out the Motor Racing Network's Wing Nation with Steve Post, Ashley Stremme, and the First Lady of Dirt Racing, World of Outlaws winner, Erin Evernham. Each week, Wing Nation goes in-depth with the stars of local tracks, high-limit racing, and the World of Outlaws. Check out Wing Nation interviews on the Wing Nation Facebook page, YouTube channel, or follow along on Instagram or X at Wing Nation. Your go-to for sprint car talk, Wing Nation.
This is Jake Garcia. You're listening to all the play-by-play action of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen International. Under Hardy's caution number 4 brought out when A.J. Allmendinger got into Carson Hocevar out of turn 7. Carson spun, made contact with the inside wall, but that is not the only dramatic thing to happen under this caution flag.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. We have a penalty for Ross Chastain. There was the race leader, Todd Gordon, a restart violation.
He started the race before he got to the restart zone. They've shown it on the video playing back. He was probably 30 feet short of it, of the start of the restart zone when he launched to start the race. That's out of the restart zone. That is a restart violation. It sounds like tail end for him. He'll probably be coming to pit road.
It's not the first time we have seen a jumped restart here at Watkins Glen. I remember Ron Hornaday Jr. leading at the Glen towards the tail end of a race years ago. Jumped the restart, got black flagged. Matter of fact, he and former NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series director Wayne Alton still talk about this to this very day. Ron wasn't happy about it, but at the end of the day, rules are rules, and if you jump the restart, you're going to be penalized, and that is exactly what's happening to Ross Chastain right now.
How much of that is, in your guys' opinion, the fact that Connor Zilic was the other truck on the front row, Ross knowing that he had to get away?
Well, that's an adrenaline rush right there. You know you need to go to restart because you know what you got at your back door. Not only do you have Connor Zilic, you got Gio Ruggiero, you got Brent Cruz, you got A.J. Allmendinger lined up behind you. So you got to get the green and get and go. And I just think that he got swept up in the moment and went too soon, trying to get away from all that.
Yeah, and the restart zone becomes almost a challenge for the leader because it's so short that the other trucks will anticipate that you're going to go at the line. And so I think you try the gamesmanship. I don't think Ross thought he was that far early of it, just trying to get ahead of it and get a good launch. But obviously, he launched too early. It was noticeable on the video replay. And here comes the 45 truck down pit road. I'm sure they'll put 4 tires and fuel in it.
Yeah, you're going to go to the back of the field anyway. You might as well service the race truck and do the best you can now to try to salvage a finish. And they're going to hope now for a green flag. They can run a half a lap, gain some spots, and have another caution flag come out and try to leapfrog their way at least back to the top 10.
Steve Post, what is the body language in Ross Chastain's pit right now?
Body language is a whole lot of shaking their head. Ross is still trying to figure out what happened there, and he's pleaded his case. Of course, that didn't really work out too well. And what they just said, okay, come on in. We're going to make sure we have fuel. 4 brand new Goodyear Racing Eagles. And they said, we're just going to make one minor adjustment to it, and Ross is just going to need to drive the wheels off it from the back of the pack. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. There's going to be a track bar adjustment on it to give Ross max speed for the remaining laps of the race, and now he just eases down. But there was some disbelief in it. Ross was trying to understand how you're the control car and you go too fast. But Phil Gould explained it to him, and I think Phil maybe saw the same video you saw, and we just kind of knew that it was he'd lobby his case, but it probably wasn't going to be a winning argument.
Yeah, so that was one of those that when you're calling balls and strikes, that one wasn't quite close enough on that one.
You can fight City Hall all you want, but City Hall is going to win that one. There's no question about that.
Yeah. So, I think Ross, when he gets the opportunity later today, goes back and reviews some of the video footage that NASCAR TV has captured there, I think he'll understand that. But as the control car, if you're not familiar with NASCAR, the control car on restarts is the race leader. Whichever lane they choose to restart in, they're still the control car, which means anytime in that Poet restart zone that they can jump on the throttle. It doesn't have to be immediately at the line. It can be in the middle. It can be late in the zone. They can jump on the throttle anytime they want to restart the race. In this case, Ross got on the gas far too soon.
This is going to be a dandy here because we got Connor Zilic that's going to obviously inherit the lead. Gio Ruggiero is second on the leaderboard. Third is Brent Cruz. How about Butterbean Queen in the fourth spot right now? Caden Honeycutt fifth. Minnie Tyrell sixth. A.J. Allmendinger in seventh. Lane Riggs, Daniel Hemrick, and Adam Andretti round out the top 10. But let's give Ram a shout-out. 3 dodges in the top 7 spots with 8 laps to go here at the Glen.
That's big. And also, how about a call to Caden Honeycutt? Had a penalty pitting too soon when the pits were closed. Had to come from the back of the field. Caden Honeycutt won the ARCA Menard Series race here earlier today. He's back to the number 5 spot after a penalty early on in the race.
And Riggs and Hemrick in 8th and 9th came and got tires to caution before this. So they're on a tire advantage in 8th and 9th. It may be interesting to see how this plays forward.
Put this in your memory banks, too. Twice today, Connor Zilic has roughed up Brent Cruz to get around him. Brent Cruz is going to be restarting behind Connor Zilic. Something to file should it rear its ugly head. We've gotten the one to go. Lights off atop the Toyota Camry safety car. That pace car begins to accelerate, and here we go. When they get to the line, it'll be 8 laps to go to settle it this afternoon at Watkins Glen.
Connor Zilic now is the control truck as they make their way up off of the left-hand turn number 6. The Poet restart zone is just before turn number 7. They're approaching it right now. Zilic is on the gas. Gio Ruggiero right there to driver's right is going to match him through the gearbox as they come up off turn 7, side by side across the line. Brent Cruz on the back tailgate, shoving Connor Zilic to the lead, and he's not off the tailgate yet. There's smoke as they work their way under, breaking into turn number 1.
Locking up the brakes to try and make that right-hand turn number 1. There's trouble behind them at the entrance to turn number 1 as the leaders race to turn 2.
Leaders now crashing into the tire packs, and we are under the caution flag again. Lane Riggs got turned around, had some contact with another truck, and then he just nailed one of those tire packs, and the tire pack is sitting in the middle of the racetrack. That was a very aggressive restart, which resulted in Hardy's caution number 5.
And that's kind of what we're talking about. Chris Wright went head-on into one of those tire packs as well. He's got significant damage to the nose of his truck. This was all around the 8th position. You pointed out Lane Riggs just before the restart on the fresh tires. Looked like he was trying to make something happen along with everybody else, trying to gain another spot or two.
We're in single-digit laps to go, and you have a tire advantage. You've got to take advantage of it under restarts, but that creates these kind of tumultuous points, and you end up really, we had a lot of contact all the way from the lead 2 had contact off of turn 7 coming to the green, and that just stacks all the way back through the field. That's the opportunity to go get something. Looks like Gio Ruggiero a little loose, got up into Connor and actually sandwiched him in the outside wall there. They've had a little contact here under caution as well.
There was a gaggle of trucks that got stacked up, and that was just the beginning. And then Brent Cruz locked up the brakes as he gave Connor Zilic the old heave-ho. Gio Ruggiero had snuck down to the bottom, and they were side-by-side for the lead before Chris Wright went into the tire pack. You've also got Lane Riggs spinning, and just this one big, massive trucks that got triggered when Lane Riggs got turned around, and everybody was ducking and darting and dodging to avoid, which created more mayhem coming out of turn number 1. This is a very interesting set of circumstances, watching everybody getting jostled around for position, and this no doubt will change the restart dynamic when we go back under the green flag.
When the caution flag was called, Gio Ruggiero had a bumper in front of Connor Zilic. Gio Ruggiero is going to be the race lead. with 7 laps to go. Zilich will be second. Brent Cruz will be third. Caden Honeycutt another spot forward. He's now fourth, and Brendan Butterbean Queen is fifth.
I wonder if they'll go back and take a look at the scoring loop data, because it's last scoring loop, but they were knotted together. I'm sure race control is a very busy place right now, just trying to sort out and get the right placement, because that could be big with the choose, right? You have the opportunity to choose inside or out depending on what you want to do and what lane you want on this next restart.
Yeah, and having control.
Yes.
Who has control and who gets to have that advantage of launching first in the restart zone. We'll see whether that's Gio or whether it's Connor. It looked like Gio got ahead, but depends on where the loops are and when the time of caution was.
So when it comes time to choose, whoever is first is going to have an interesting choice. Zilich and Chastain, the last 2 restarts, have chosen drivers left on the front row. Zilich got pushed up into the safer barrier by Ruggiero. So if you're Ruggiero and you are in fact going to be the race leader, do you choose drivers left knowing that you could be the one that's shoved up into the safer barrier?
You know, for a race that's been on the tame side, in the last handful of laps, business has just picked up. We had a caution for stage 1 at lap 20. We had a caution for stage 2 at lap 40. The first caution for cause was lap 58. Then we've had one at lap 61. And now we have one at lap 64. So business has definitely picked up here.
What did you say during the stage 2 stage break about cautions here?
Well, you said cautions breed cautions. I was actually getting ready to drop a stat, be like, we've only had 2 cautions today, and, well, the least amount of cautions in the past has been 4. Well, we've breached that, and we're now at Hardy's caution number 5.
Yeah, so there is no superstition because you didn't read it, so
right.
That doesn't even count.
Right.
So we worked the Hardy's caution for the 5th time today. 10 of the 65 laps have been run under the caution flag so far today. Let's check on the pit lane. Steve Post.
Listen to you guys talk. I had a really nice visit earlier today with Connor Mosak, and we're talking about those track limits down in turn number 1. And one of the things Todd Gordon had talked about in one of our production meetings is, what does this look like on restarts? And I asked Connor about it, and he said the outside should be the advantageous lane. Drivers left, and we've seen the drivers choose that. He said, but with those tire packs there, if the guy on the inside wants to be aggressive, he can put you in a very, very spot on the outside. So we were talking about turn number 1. That started the last time down here in turn number 7, but I just think it's an interesting question as far as do you choose inside or outside, because it used to be if you're on the outside, you could just let it ride off the racetrack and just get back up to speed and up through the S's. With those tire packs out there, that outside lane, while it might be advantageous, that inside driver could make things a little bit tight for you up there on the outside of turn number 1.
As we work the caution flag, something else to keep in mind. Great stuff from Steve Post. A lot of different scenarios. Everybody's got their own race that they're running, and a lot of different things taking place here. There are some drivers that are okay with a few caution flags. We mentioned Ross Chastain after jumping the restart a couple of laps ago. Well, he gained a couple of spots before this caution came out. So Chastain needing some cautions after a little bit of green flag time before caution comes back out. He's up to the 24th spot now.
Pit road is open. A couple of drivers coming in there. Andres Perez got some damage. Also, the Rife truck is in there as well, so they're fixing the damage. That happened when everybody got stacked up going into turn number 1. Chris Wright not only hit 1 tire pack, but hit 2 tire packs. And that truck has just been towed back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series garage, and the tire pack that got punted onto the racetrack is now being repositioned at the bottom of the hill in turn 1.
And I was told, these tire packs, they're hundreds of pounds. I think close to 800 pounds, I think is what I was told. So getting that to move, that's a significant hit.
Well, I was talking to Rodney Childers, who's crew chief for Connor Zilich in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series earlier this week. Their main concern with the tire packs is because of what you just described. They expect that if you get run into and get run up and into that tire pack, you could damage your car a lot tomorrow. We just saw it here, and look at the damage it did to Chris Wright. And I'm sure there's a lot of crew chiefs right now that are taking a look at that accident, filing that away for tomorrow and Sunday, especially when the Cup cars go on track for the Go Bowling at the Glen.
And we're not done yet here in this one. We still have 6 laps to go and at least one more restart. And as we've seen here in the last 15 to 20 minutes on the clock, restarts have been very tense here in the closing laps of this one here today. Gio Ruggiero is going to be scored the race leader. Connor Zilic will be second. Brendan Butterbean Queen is being scored third. Then it's Brent Cruz fourth, and Caden Honeycutt will be fifth. AJ Allmendinger sixth. Minnie Tyrell seventh. Daniel Hemrick eighth. Connor Mozak ninth. Adam Andretti will be scored in position number 10.
After having some challenges earlier in the race, Christian Eckes will restart 11th. Andres Perez was just on pit road. You've also got the Jay Garcia truck there, Justin Haley, Shane Van Gisbergen, along with Chandler Smith, rounding out the top 15. Lights are out on the safety car. Gio Ruggiero will opt to restart on the inside of row 1. Connor Zilic will restart to his outside, and everybody choosing in and out as we get ready to come to the restart. It'll be 5 to go. So you're Gio Ruggiero. You've just chosen the inside lane. You like that call, Todd?
I think he needed to. After he kind of used up Connor Zilic on the exit of turn 7 there. If you take the outside, expect the same back to you. So I think he needed to go there. Plus, it protects him, as we talked about your conversation with Rodney Childers. It protects you from getting pushed up into those tire bundles down in turn 1. We'll see how Connor Zilic handles this one.
Interested to see how Gio Ruggiero plays the Poet restart zone as they've waved off the restart this time. The lights are back on top of the pace car. So we'll go around at least one more time. Will Ruggiero wait till late in the zone and have everybody else get on the gas and potentially get a penalty for jumping the restart?
So you got Zilic that'll restart on the inside, Ruggiero on the outside, Brent Cruz starts on the inside of row 2, or as they come to the start-finish line, what would be the outside. So, again, the dynamic very interesting with who is running up front. Wouldn't it be something that Butterbean Queen is able to go through and give Ram its first win today? That would be remarkable considering what they've done and how they performed to date.
And he may not need to do anything to do that. Like, just be
this
smart.
May take care of itself.
Take care of it. Yeah, there's been contact. You really look at it. The 3 trucks that are surrounding him right now have all had contact. You've got Gio and Connor Zilic. You've had Connor Zilic into Brent Cruz. They're racing pretty hard. Butterbean may just keep his nose clean and be in a very good position.
Well, Ram's best finish this year is 7th, and that's been done twice. Corey LaJoie did it at Rockingham, and Brendan Butterbean Queen did it as well, I believe, at Daytona in the season opener. So 7th is the best Rams have been able to do this year. Right now, they've got 3 trucks in the top 7.
I'm not convinced we're done wrecking yet.
No.
Oh, no.
I don't think that we're done with the yellow flag in this one, because I think it's getting more physical now than it's been to date in this race. Gio Ruggiero, Connor Zilic, Brent Cruz, Butterbean Queen, Caden Honeycutt rounding out the top 5. And again, just to dovetail back on the Honeycutt story, tip of the cap to them. Had a challenge earlier, had to answer a penalty, had to go to the back for a challenge there, but has been able to rebound and is running in the 5th position. And the most recent driver to be penalized in Ross Chastain, he will restart in the 21st position on fresh tires and fuel in the tank. The Sunoco fuel in the tank.
The top 7 right now are on a different pit strategy. They were last on the pit lane back lap 42 and 48 respectively. Everybody else lap 59 and so on. So just to put it out of the thought process, Todd, everybody with these cautions are good to go here on Sunoco fuel.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they will be, unless you don't pick up everything in the cell. And that's part of the challenges of road course racing, is you can't just put that pickup back in the right rear corner and pick up all the fuel from there. You've got to figure out how do you pick it up doing left-hand turns and doing right-hand turns. That's the one question mark you have coming road racing.
The top 6 last pitted at lap 42. The driver in 7th, Minnie Tyrell, pitted lap 48. And then everybody on back pitted at lap 59. So we should be good to go on fuel. And we'll see, though, if we're good to go for green flag racing. Again, when they come to the line, it'll be 4 to go. We will not be in overtime. This is the end of the scheduled distance. The question is, will we see more caution flags fly before we get to what is supposed to be the scheduled 72-lap distance of this race?
Under predominantly blue skies right now here at Watkins Glen, New York, after a day that started off with rain and some snowflakes falling here in and around the racetrack area this morning, giving way to beautiful sunshine. Temperatures have warmed up into the low 50s, and this has really turned out to be a whale of a race here today. We've had 5 different drivers take their turn leading at one point or another in the race. 8 different official lead changes at the start-finish line. Connor Zilic has led the most laps so far, a total of 23.
Brent Cruz has led 19. Ross Chastain has led 17. Daniel Hemrick 5. Gio Ruggiero has led 3. Pace car is off. Here we come. The field is inching to the restart zone. Gio Ruggiero, the control truck. He'll start driver's right. Next to Connor Zilic, driver's left. Here they go. Green flag is out. Gio trying to get away. Connor Zilic trying to stay with him stride for stride. Off turn number 7. Across the start-finish line. Side by side for the lead. Zilic will get the advantage. Brent Cruz is in the mix. So is Caden Honeycutt. And that wheel-to-wheel battle for the lead as contact in turn 1. They head for the S's.
Connor Zilic away by about a half a car length, but now back to the inside. It's a side-by-side battle. Wheel-to-wheel up through the S's. Zilic on driver's left. He'll take it after contact with Ruggiero. Here comes Brent Cruz on Ruggiero for second.
Ruggiero will fall back in the line in second, but has Brent Cruz to his left elbow as they go side by side up the back straightaway behind race leader Connor Zilic, who leads under braking into the inner loop. Ruggiero will take the second spot. Cruz now challenged by Caden Honeycutt, who looks outside and in. Little bit of contact in turn 5 sends Cruz up the racetrack, and Caden Honeycutt the third.
Honeycutt, man on a mission right now, moves Brent Cruz out of the way and takes the third spot from him. Racing down the short straightaway. Oh, trouble further back. One truck gets turned into the Armco barrier. It's Ross Chastain. Other trucks also get a piece of this accident, but it's Chastain hard in the Armco barrier halfway down the short straightaway.
We stay under the green flag for the moment. The field pours up off turn number 7. Connor Zilic has an 8-truck length lead over Gio Ruggiero. Caden Honeycutt's on the march, and the caution flag is flying with 3 laps to go for the problem that took place on the short straightaway. Let's go back to Tim Catalfamo.
Ross Chastain got turned coming off of turn number 5 and smacked the Armco barrier left front first into that wall with his Chevrolet Silverado. Timmy Hill also got mixed up in the accident. He drove by me. A lot of smoke pouring out of that pickup truck. Difficult to tell exactly what started that, but Chastain, who was middle of the pack, working his way out of turn number 5, got turned sideways and then went head-on into that Armco barrier on the straightaway.
Ty Majeski was in and around that as well as they were all pouring up off of the corner. It was Majeski that got into the right rear quarter panel of Ross Chastain that sent him for the spin and into the wall. 3 laps to go in regulation.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires. Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected into the car. Bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
The field of 40 drivers who will compete in the 2026 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Championship Series, NASCAR's officially sanctioned esports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world, is set. More than $500,000 will be on the line, with $100,000 going to the series champion. Don't forget to tune in Tuesday, May 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 1 at Charlotte on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola iRacing and NASCAR.
Timmy Hill's got his battered truck at the head end of the pit lane. He's going to vacate that truck. It will not move anymore. Tow trucks are going to give him assistance as we continue to work the caution flag presented by Hardee's. This is the 6th Hardee's caution of the race. Connor Zilic is still the race leader. Gio Ruggiero and Caden Honeycutt make up the top 3. From Watkins Glen International, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Petty, and I want to tell you about a place that's near and dear to my heart. Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit, want to volunteer, or join our team, you can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting victoryjunction.org.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale Show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second. The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
This is Tyler Ankrum. You're listening to all the play-by-play action of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
We welcome you back to Watkins Glen International as we are going to be headed to overtime here in this one. There is another penalty to be handed out, another restart violation. This time the control truck on the last restart was Gio Ruggiero. He has a restart violation as he got on the gas before the Poet restart zone. That is twice that's happened, once with Ruggiero, once now with Ross Chastain. And after that penalty, Chastain is deeper in the field.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network. Watkins Glen International, the site of today's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, Bully Hill Vineyards 176. We are getting ready to go into overtime as over the last few moments or so, things have taken some dramatic twists and turns. Mike Bagley alongside Alex Hayden and Todd Gordon topside. Dave Moody, Kyle Rickey, and Tim Catalfemo are in the corners. Steve Post and Jason Toy in the pits and in the garage. This started on the restart that came after Hardy's caution number 5. Ross Chastain getting penalized, had to go to the back of the pack. Then on this most recent restart, after this caution flag, you had Gio Ruggiero jumping the restart, and he has to go to the back of the pack now, and that totally shakes up the running order. Connor Zilic will be the controlled truck this time through for this restart, with Caden Honeycutt, Brent Cruz, A.J. Allmendinger, and Daniel Hemrick, who has recovered to restart in this overtime effort in the top 5.
Jason Toy, we've been remarking about the Ram effort here today in the closing laps.
Definitely indeed. Chris Rice is the man that leads this with Colic Racing in the Ram. You guys, regardless of the outcome of this one here today, how pleased are you to see so many of your trucks up in that top 10, Chris?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. This Ram program's, I said next year, not today, not anything, but when you throw A.J. Allmendinger in here, our leader, our man, you know, and we still got a lot to fix, but, man, so proud of everybody on our Colic Racing team, all the men and women here, but gives me cold chills that I hadn't done this in a while. I'm excited. I want to win again, and I want to win right now, and it's not time yet.
Would you add to it, you got a couple of guys that come from the late model race, and Brendan Queen and Minnie Tyrell, who are also whipped up in there. What do they become good road guys?
I told them they keep their trucks clean, and they'll have a good finish, and that's what they're doing. I know Minnie had a little issue with the 81, but those guys just got to keep their stuff clean. You know, this Ram program is it's exciting. I love everything we do. I love it. I love the excitement we have behind it, but I'm going to love how well we run throughout the rest of this time.
All right, good luck.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. He is a nervous man. He's pacing back and forth here. Chris Rice with Colic Racing leading up this Dodge Ram program. They're pretty happy. They want to see it finish off.
And they do, and they're in a good position, and his strategy call is exactly what you said, Todd. You may get a great finish out of this thing just by staying out of everybody else's problem.
There's opportunities, and especially if you're not, like, in their situation, a great finish, a top 5 finish is a step forward for this Ram program. It's in its infancy, as Chris talked about. They're building the program. So to come out of here with a top 5 finish would be a great opportunity for them.
They're building their sim program. They're building their notebooks. Chris told me earlier this week that they have repurposed chassis and bodies the first chassis that they will roll out that they made themselves, I want to say it's Michigan, the new chassis and body that they've created isn't coming until Pocono. So it's taken them a while to get things off the ground, but they knew this going in. They knew that the headwinds were going to be strong. It was going to take them time. But I do believe on a day like today, when you've got A.J. Allmendinger that's providing feedback and direction, that's exactly what that race team needed, and this will help them take that step forward that they're looking to take.
Just give them a burst of energy and enthusiasm and positive to work forward with. And you know there's going to be growing pains, but when you can have little successes, that really helps kind of tail off those growing pains and put you in a better position.
And it builds morale in that race shop as well when you have good runs. Right now they've got 5 trucks in today's race. A.J. Allmendinger is 4th. Then you've got Butterbean Queen 7th. Minnie Tyrell is 8th. Justin Haley 12th. And Corey LaJoie is the 5th of the Rams, and he is 13th.
Field is going to be getting the one to go. They're on the backstretch right now. They will be getting the one to go when they enter the inner loop. Again, Connor Zilich, Caden Honeycutt, Brent Cruz, A.J. Allmendinger, and Daniel Hemrick are the top 5 right now as the lights are about to go off the top of the safety car, and NASCAR overtime will ensue. A 2-lap shootout. We could do it again if the leader doesn't take the white flag. Once the white flag flies, the next flag will end it, whether it be yellow or black and white checkered. And, Alex, I'm still not convinced that we're going to be able to make it to the white flag.
No. And just for reference, there are no lights here at Watkins Glen International, but we have plenty of daylight at the moment. Connor Zilich, as they choose what lane to restart in, presented by Freeway Insurance. Connor Zilich will go to driver's left this time on the restart, something he did earlier when he was the control truck. And that means Caden Honeycutt will happily oblige and take driver's right as we get set for another restart.
A.J. Allmendinger will restart to what will be the inside of row 2, and that will leave him the opportunity, if he wants to send her on in there, as they say, going downhill into turn 1. That lane should be open should he choose to use it. And restarting on the inside, or what would be the outside of row 3, Shane Van Gisbergen. Haven't heard a lot out of SVG today, but these restarts and needing to muster up things to manufacture a great restart, he's one of the kings, so look out for SVG as we get ready to go green.
This is the 4th overtime race of the 2026 season for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Caden Honeycutt, after a pit penalty earlier, coming from the back of the field, is up now to the front row as the field works their way to the restart zone. Green flag goes in the air. Here they are up off turn number 7. Honeycutt really crowding race leader Connor Zilich. Side by side they race past the start-finish line. On the gas now, under braking, downshifting. They funnel off into turn number 1. Connor Zilich on the outside. He gets a nudge in the quarter panel. It's Caden Honeycutt with the lead.
Honeycutt from the back of the pack is all the way to the number 1 position. Connor Zilich drops back into the number 2 spot. Half a truck length behind. 3rd position now. SVG, A.J. Allmendinger.
Shane Van Gisbergen up to 3rd, trying to track down the top 2 at the front of the field, led by Caden Honeycutt, who's trying to get away from Connor Zilich, who's within 1 truck length. SVG right there in 4th. The battle for the 4th position is on. Hemrick able to get inside and around A.J. Allmendinger through the inner loop. That allows the top 3 to break away.
Honeycutt is the race leader, but he better run as fast as he can because Connor Zilich is still right there trying to challenge him for the race lead. It's 1 truck length separating the top 2 into turn number 6. There goes Honeycutt. Here comes Connor Zilich. Shane Van Gisbergen is broken in the 3rd. Daniel Hemrick to 4th.
Caden Honeycutt has said he needs to find a way to finish these races and win them. Here he comes out of turn number 7. He's going to take the white flag. 2.45 miles remain for Caden Honeycutt and his first win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Down the hill through turn 1. So far, so good for Honeycutt.
Caden Honeycutt running like he just broke out of jail. He's got 2 truck lengths now over Zilich. It does not look like Shane Van Gisbergen's going to be a factor. He's dropped back by 5, maybe 6 truck lengths. It's a 2-man race led by Caden Honeycutt,
who's beginning to break away just a bit at the front of the field. Call it 3 truck lengths back to Connor Zilich in the 2nd spot. Zilich trying to gain some of that ground back under braking into the inner loop for the final time. It's still Caden Honeycutt in into turn number 5 is the race leader. Zillage in second, a large gap back to the race for third, led by SVG as Caden Honeycutt leads to the short chute.
Connor Zillage is going to have 2 more final shots at Caden Honeycutt in turns 6 and 7. For the moment, though, he is too far back. It is Honeycutt who leads by about 3 truck lengths for the final time in turn 6, going to turn 7.
Here's Caden Honeycutt up off of turn number 7. He's got 5 truck lengths off the corner. Checkered flag is out. We've had 2 first-time winners today at Watkins Glen, and they're the same guy. It's Caden Honeycutt. He gets his first career win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Caden Honeycutt wins the Bully Hill Vineyards 176 at Watkins Glen. Connor Zillage will finish second. Shane Van Gisbergen will be third. Daniel Hemrick fourth, and Chandler Smith rounds out the top 5. Let's go to pit road.
Oh, they are celebrating. They thought they were going to win races. I wasn't sure about the road course. Scott Zipadelli, your crew chief, you have tutored, you have mentored, you have worked with Caden Honeycutt. You got to be awful proud of him and this team, the way they came back to win here today.
Oh, yeah. I'm so proud of everybody. The guys work so hard. Just a great group of boys. And Caden's come in, filled big shoes with the stats that we laid up last year. And his head's down. He's been working really hard. And we had a great day. We executed well. We had a little mistake there, but came back and executed well, and feels really good.
Feels really good, that's for sure. Scott Zipadelli is going to victory lane with his driver, Caden Honeycutt.
Who scores the win? Presented by Sunoco Race Fuel with zero carbon bioethanol. From fueling your favorite NASCAR teams to filling up at the pump, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does.
Sunoco cans injected to the car, bubble wall is down and away.
All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR, from the track to your tank. Sunoco, the official fuel of NASCAR.
The field of 40 drivers who will compete in the 2026 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Championship Series, NASCAR's officially sanctioned eSports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world, is set. More than $500,000 will be on the line, with $100,000 going to the series champion. Don't forget to tune in Tuesday, May 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 1 at Charlotte on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola, iRacing, and NASCAR.
NASCAR Live Race Day continues on the Motor Racing Network.
We welcome you back here to Watkins Glen International. Caden Honeycutt doing his burnout for the fans.
Yes, he is, and these are ferocious burnouts that he is doing. He has just picked up his first ever win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, and this is the truck and this is the team that Corey Hine went to victory lane with a dozen times, and Caden Honeycutt's been wanting to do the same this year, and he's finally done it. He won earlier today in the ARCA Menard Series, General Tire 100, and now he wins the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Bully Hill Vineyards 176. Caden now has stopped his burnouts. He is now getting on top of his truck, and we'll talk with him in just a few moments. Let's speak with the gentleman that finished second. That's Connor Zillage, who's with Jason Toy.
Yeah, Connor sits down here outside his Chevy Silverado. And, all right, last couple of restarts there. What was it that was missed there in that last one, you think?
I think everybody who wants to know watched it. So, unfortunate for our Trackhouse Labs, Spire Motorsports, not Tundra, that's bad, Silverado. We had a really fast truck, and just those restarts can get hectic. But, yeah, good day overall.
We saw a lot of contact out there on the restarts. Is that just race wins, or how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's going for his first win. I can't blame him for it, but I expected better. So, yeah, can't go back and change it, but wish I would have chosen the inside and done that to him instead. But I was going to try and race clean for it, but, that's how it goes.
All right, Connor Zillage brings it home in the runner-up spot. Chandler Smith brings it home in the 5th position here this afternoon, and all of a sudden look up and see your Ford F-150 up there in that top 5. Take us through that final run and you guys getting back up towards the front.
Yeah, we came down and obviously got 4 fresh Goodyear tires and some Sunoco fuel and had a pretty big tire advantage on everybody in front of us. We lost a tremendous amount of spots on pit road, so was definitely behind the 8 ball there and was able to start chipping away back towards the front and ended up with a solid P5 finish. And big shout out to Oswego County Tourism. The number 38 Ford F-150 looks great this weekend. Went up and did some fishing yesterday up there with those guys, and yeah, we had a great time. So really appreciate their support on the truck and proud of everybody at Front Row Motorsports.
There you go. Chandler Smith brings it back up into the top 5, finishing up in the 5th position. Shane Van Gisbergen jumped out of his Chevy Silverado back here as he sets his helmet down on the back tailgate of this one. And, you know, the early part of this race, you kind of fell back a little bit. Yep. Did the truck come alive late for you? What happened?
No, we just unfortunately didn't have the speed all day, but it wasn't through lack of trying. Thanks to the Nice guys, we gave it a big go, but yeah, just didn't have the speed. But then at the end, we were on tires and placed myself in some good spots on restarts and managed to get through. But P3 is a pretty good result.
What did you learn on this track today with these new limits that's going to help you the rest of the weekend?
Just the restarts are carnage now. You really got to protect and park it up early and get yourself on the inside.